we our video is starting. So
Starting.
we're live. It's just not.
It's just not live.
It's Memorex. Remember that? Is it live or is it Memorex?
I mean,
So now we're live.
I remember maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Mabley.
You don't remember? Is it live or is it Memorex?
What is that from?
That's like from Memorex. Cassette tapes. Cassettes. So
I thought, wasn't that Maxwell?
well, is it live or is it Memorex? Somebody who's watching us at some point in time, please tell Mike I'm not crazy and that is it live or is it Memorex was a thing.
I mean, I think I remember that. I remember maybe having them.
Yes.
Oh, she likes her logo.
Oh, Teresita's too young.
Who drew this logo?
Teresita's too young.
Who
Hey,
drew this? Did
Teresita.
Mr. Tony Imes draw this logo? Yes, he did.
Teresita, do you remember? Is it live or is it Memorex or are you too young? All right, so welcome to the best of worst of Powerbomb Weekly Special. This is the last show of the year. We did determine, right?
Yes, we will not be having a show
Next week because it's Christmas.
Subsequent week due to Christmas. It's the day after, and we haven't decided if we're going to have a show the week after that.
Although we'll see how day one goes.
Yeah.
And here's my festive Christmas shirt.
Nice. I'm wearing my Demolisher shirt that I wore last week.
Yeah, Teresita has no idea what I'm talking about. Not surprisingly. All right. So, I literally. So reasons that we're running late are some personal ones with my family. Nothing bad or anything like that. We just had some shopping we had to do, and I literally finished this slideshow typing in the car to make the show tonight. So unlike most weeks, because I do a lot of the production stuff, I actually haven't even heard the intro. Kevin sent it to me. I downloaded it, so I didn't add the bell ringing or the music. So this intro, I've not heard yet. So this will be a complete surprise to me, as it always is a surprise to you.
Nice.
Hey,
hon, text me real quick if you got your end of the year extra ducats from the place that we are employed. Curious. I'm looking at my statement right now.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on.
Can we start the show now?
Yes, we can.
All right.
Yes, we can.
All right, so let's start the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of Powerbomb Weekly. Brought to you in part by Kitsap Great Escape. It's not too late. Save the train, stop the alien, find the ruins. Visit kitsapgreatescape.com. This week on the show, the guys are going to give no more than 5 minutes to that POS Hannibal, who actually deserves no minutes. Also get the latest update on Jeff Hardy. The guys will look at the best and worst of the wrestling world in 2021. And as always, I'll break down the storylines currently playing out in your favorite wrestling promotion. But first, let me introduce to you your host.
Let's see how this goes.
He is the man that represents all good things from the holiday season, including love, joy, compassion, and steel chair shots to Joey's back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Michael Burdett. And his co-host. If Ebenezer Scrooge and the Grinch had a love child,
Oh, what?
this is who it would be. Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Marcello.
Why does he hate me?
And now, happy holidays from your announcer guy. On with tonight's show.
Aw, thank you, Kevin, for that wonderful intro that you have brought into us again this week. I am a loving, compassionate, sweet human being. I'm like I have like a hard outside shell, but like a warm nougaty center. Where Joey is apparently just an angry, gangly, hook-nosed green man.
He's making me an angry.
Who wishes to steal all of the joy from the children of the world. And crippled people. But you know what, though? The Grinch and Ebenezer Scrooge, they had redemption. So you just need to get to your redemption point. You need a sick, gangly, sweet child to rescue you from the brinks of the abyss.
I think we're going to find a new announcer guy for 2022.
You already tried to hire a hitman who, did not work out.
I think we're going to have a new announcer guy for 2022. All right, so, hey, no copyright. Woo! It's 2022, 2021. Nobody cares about any of this stuff anyway. Where are we going to start?
I don't know. You made the slides.
All right.
We only spend 5 minutes on this.
We're not spending more than 5 minutes on this piece of shit. Okay, please give us the story.
Okay, so was it about 2 weeks ago?
It was the same weekend as the Cameron Grimes match, which you had alluded to earlier time when somebody had done something similar.
Okay, so there's a wrestler by the name of Hannibal. He also performs under the title of Blood Hunter. A humorist. Hannibal is largely famously known in the wrestling industry for two things. One of which is he claims that he contracted hepatitis C unknown to him in a match that he had with legendary hardcore wrestler Abdullah the Butcher, and he was bladed without his consent. They both used the same blade. He did not know it, and he contracted Hep C. And there's a good documentary of him out there crying because when they found out about this, he was actually in the process of a developmental tryout deal with the WWE, and they pulled his deal because he had tested positive for Hep C, which he claims he got from the aforementioned match with Abdullah the Butcher. They eventually went to court. They had a lawsuit. He was awarded a summary judgment. As far as I know, Abdullah the Butcher has never paid him because I think he won like $2.5 million. And this was also at a time where it was very controversial because they had Bob Orton wrestle the blood match with The Undertaker, and he had hepatitis C, and they didn't tell The Undertaker, and he was pissed. He's also famous for, he has his own wrestling promotion where he pays other people to have him wrestle on their show, and he does a lot of shoot interviews with people who are basically a lot of older former talent who just talk trash about Abdullah the Butcher and the WWE in general. So he goes down to Texas because, of course, these things have to happen in Texas or Florida. That's the only place. So the man is from Canada. He wrestles this gimmick Blood Hunter where he makes other people bleed, he claims that he has also been cured of his hepatitis. I would never ever get in a match with this individual where blood would happen. He has also posted pictures of him bleeding before in matches after his claim of being cured. And this referee who was hired by him for the pure purpose of doing a blade job. Now, the ending of the match, which he wrestled against Carlito refused to take part in the gimmick where he makes people bleed in the matches because he's the Blood Hunter. The referee, as you can see, has got some small cut wounds on the front of his head right here because the referee was attending to go down, cut his head, bleed, and he claims that he had been given a spike to work as the gimmick because Kevin Sullivan, your battery's running low, was his manager for the night, which Sullivan is famous for. He took it upon himself that the referee was not bleeding enough, where he proceeded to stab the man in the head multiple times, severing an artery, causing mass amounts of blood loss, up to 1 liter is what's being claimed. And he bled out all over the ring and possibly could have died from it. He did get multiple staples and stitches put in his head, and he has a GoFundMe account for his medical bills that has amassed over $8,000 of the $10,000 goal right now. I'm going to start talking a little bit faster because we're running low on time. The main question that's coming from this is, Hannibal has been fired. He has put out a response video where he says that he was not employed by them. He was just working the show to help them. As I said, he pays people to have him wrestle on his show. Also, by the way, because we're talking about him, I'm assuming he's going to put us on blast because he basically goes after anybody on his YouTube series who ever talks bad about him at all.
Sweet!
So we might be famous for a whole different thing coming up here shortly. The thing with this is that he has had a lot of almost but not quites and a lot of bad things happen around him. The problem with this incident is that this is not the first time that he has been involved in something that did not go as planned. He's hurt other people. He's done things that he's not supposed to do. He powerbombed his manager through a table and got blood all over and all this other stuff that's happened.
He should never be employed by anyone ever again.
I wanted to come into this with F this guy. The thing with it is in wrestling, you have to look at a small vacuum of, is it a work? I don't think it is. Two, this is what happens when people who do things that don't know what they're doing or don't protect the person that they are trying to be in an angle with. This referee in question, as pointed out, was not there to work the show. He worked no other match on the card. He was there simply to do the blade job, which he was paid $75 to do. That's the only reason this guy was at the show.
$75.
He was paid $75 to bleed.
Oh my God.
Hannibal claims that he gave him additional money after the fact to cover his deductible medical bills, which have obviously climbed quite high because of the amount of damage that was done to him. Hannibal claims that he was not able to properly see because he wears glasses and wrestles in a mask with mesh on it, and the spike had protruded past the safety point of his hand when he was stabbing him in the head with it. My thing with this is, if you can't be safe and protect somebody that you're paying to be on a show that you're paying to be there for, you don't need to be in the business because you don't know what you're doing.
Maybe him and Nick Gage could wrestle each other.
The problem with that is that Hannibal is 6'4" and 270 some pounds, and he has an intimidating presence about him.
Him and Nick Gage should go in a steel cage match to death.
Literally
to the death.
This would probably be the only match in history that I would root for Nick Gage to win. I don't know if this guy should be banned, but I definitely feel that this guy should not be employed.
Yeah.
He should not be picked up by any promotion. He runs his own promotion called Great Northwest Wrestling. I'm not plugging them. I'm just trying to give some information behind this. But this guy clearly doesn't know what he's doing for somebody who's been working since 2003.
And many other wrestlers have jumped on that train. All right, moving on.
So basically, I think we as the Powerbomb Weekly here can collectively say, fuck Hannibal.
That's as much as time as we're ever going to give him. Unless we hear about a lawsuit when he's going to jail that will say he's going to jail. All right. The newest update on Hardy.
Is Jeff Hardy the smartest person in wrestling?
What?
I mean, or is he the dumbest? Because, so let me just say this to start with. I love Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy is one of my personal wrestling heroes because...
He's my son's also.
The thing with Hardy is... One, he was unique for the times, late 90s, he wore the baggy trip jeans and stuff like that in the mesh shirts.
Let me pause you for a minute.
Okay, pause me. All right.
Last week,
yeah,
I said, what if it's all a work? What if he let Tony Khan and everybody know ahead of time? And you said, nah, he wouldn't be, nobody would take a chance on that. Nah.
Do you want to go back and watch last week's show and see what was actually said? Because what I said was, the question is this a work? Other people have said that was dumb, including Baron Corbin. And I said, it would be dumb to do a work where you're a recovering addict and get fired for some type of erratic addiction behavior, be it drugs or alcohol. Jeff has had problems with both. And as a company, why would you take the risk on hiring somebody, even if you knew beforehand? Yeah. Why would Tony Khan take the risk of hiring somebody who has the perception of a suffering addict? However, though,
WWE
8 hours later, him and his brother Matt get on there, and Jeff looks like he's great.
Yeah, so...
And he says, hey, I'm great. I'm having a wonderful time. I feel that I've finally been set free, and I'm doing a concert tour.
Yes, because what the WWE apparently didn't do is they fired him before they got the results from the drug test back. And I don't know. I've never taken a drug test myself, but I was, but I was a recruiter in the Navy, and I had seen them administer them, and those results usually came back within 2 or 3 days. It's been over a week, and I've heard no positive or negative result.
The question, I mean, I'm not saying you was like being accused of, but you never had to take a piss test?
Well, you're right. I'm sorry. In the Navy, I've taken plenty of drug tests.
Okay, there we go.
No, yeah. Sorry.
I mean, I'm not saying you.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. Let me take.
Because I was like, dude, I get piss tested.
20 years of drug tests. I'm sorry. I've taken many a drug test.
There we go. All right. So now we're a little bit clearer on the overall. But
those results come back.
That's the question: is Jeff Hardy really smart and said, "Okay, I'm gonna do this thing and get out of this."
And they don't even test. They don't even wait for the test results to come back.
Yeah, I mean, and I imagine that call went something like this: Jeff, we think you have a problem. I don't have a problem. Jeff, we think you have a problem, and we'd like you to go to rehab. I don't think I need to go to rehab. Jeff, if you don't go to rehab,
you're fired.
We're going to have to separate. And Jeff goes, well, then I think we need to separate. And meanwhile, the question is on the other phone, does he go, Matt, let Tony know? Or does he go, thank God, now I can go do my music career? Which, by the way, again, going back to a second, I love Jeff. He has an inspiration for people who look like him, who look like me, which are people who are not super jacked up, big, athletic, but have a unique presence. Not to say that I do, but just he came around at a time. We often hear, like, you know, the big guy, small guy squash, right? You know, we've heard it from Bret Hart, which we'll talk about. We've heard it from Shawn Michaels and all this other stuff. Hardy is not. He wasn't a big guy. He wasn't an incredibly athletic guy. He was just an interesting character who could do athletic, acrobatic things. And because of that, he's gotten over for 20 plus years at this point.
It's safe
But when I say that, Jeff's music kind of sucks.
As does his art.
I'm okay with his art because art can be interpretation. He basically just draws pictures of his face for the most part and draws the Hardy Boy symbol a lot. But overall, you know, I don't know how successful Jeff Hardy's going to be in the music biz because modest to the top. We've heard his theme song that he wrote and performed himself, and I've heard Pure Oxygen. It's not great.
So Matt or Jeff may be reunited with his brother soon.
He might be the smartest person in wrestling.
So here's the thing that it has been rumored by many people that he was going to have a program with Roman. Do you feel like he was like, you know what? I don't want to be the next sacrifice.
I mean, I don't know if
because he wasn't going to go over.
I don't know if I would go to that extreme. I mean, there's a shot they could have put him over if he'd have come to Vince and said, "Hey, look, I've got
a chance.
You know, I'm under contract for the next 3 years, but realistically, you know, my body's burning out. I'm burning out. I'm here for 3, but you've really only got me for maybe a year." Be like, I'd love to have a short run with the title, you know, get it, maybe if Roman takes it off somebody or me take it off Roman, and then have my retirement run, and that way you guys can do the retirement story, and I'm out of here, you know, but I'll still be here for 3 years, do Ambassador, do whatever you want me to do. Maybe he could have pitched it to Vince like that, but, I mean, they've done
Kevin Owens, Finn Balor,
they've done
Daniel Bryan, Big E. Those people couldn't beat. Oh, but wait, I'm sorry, you're right, because he did beat Karrion Kross.
I mean, he beat Karrion Kross with a roll-up in 2 minutes. Thank you for reopening that deep wound that I am still hemorrhaging from.
We'll get back to that anyway.
That it is a possibility that they could have put it on him for a feel-good, last-minute,
Edge,
quick run.
Edge.
Yeah, I mean,
if they were going to do it for anyone, I would have thought Edge would have been one.
Realistically, Edge should not have been on SmackDown. Edge should have gone to Raw, and he would have been able to take the belt from there. Right. You know, him and Randy is what made sense at WrestleMania more than anything.
Yeah, but we got burned out on that.
Yeah, either way. The point is that Jeff looked very healthy.
Yes.
He did not look like someone who was suffering, and he did the Reddit interview thing that they did where he said he was listening to Fleetwood Mac Set Me Free a lot or something like that recently, which was a nice dig on Twitch. And he, you know, he didn't look like somebody who was messed up or had been messed up or was trying to get messed up or waiting to go get messed up after the camera went off the air. He looked happy. He looked healthy, which is what we all really wanted from him. If that's the case, good for him. If he needs help, get help. But he might be the smartest guy in wrestling right now, because if he wanted out, he played his trump card to get out that he knew he could get out with.
I mean, he probably also goes, fired, where am I on this list?
And the other thing with that, too, is realistically, I don't know what their situation is. I imagine Hardy has to have at least, $5 million in the bank at this point?
I mean, if he's half as smart as his brother.
Well, the problem, though, that I counter with that is he probably had a crap ton of legal fees.
Yeah.
But the Hardy compound that they have shown is real.
Yeah.
They own it. It's their parents' old property or their granddad's property. It's like 200 acres or something out in the middle of North Cackalack. It's real. He drives a Lamborghini, which we've seen. That's his. Like, he's probably not hurting. Would I risk getting out of a WWE guaranteed paid contract right now with the state of the world? Maybe not. But if I looked at my bank account and said, hey, I'm up $5 million, and I'm miserable, and I don't want to do this crap anymore, and I'm hurting, and the one thing I want is a good final push in my career, and right now I'm stuck in this weird main event where I work 30-second matches.
Yep.
What's up, everybody? We ready to go to SmackDown and do the show? Yeah, Jeff, you all right? I'm great, brother. Maybe.
Alright, so I don't even have a sheet. I don't know what we're going to do next.
All right, moving on.
Oh, I know what's next. Speaking of smartest wrestlers, is Jeff Hardy the smartest wrestler in the world? And talking about contracts.
If he's smart, he won't leave, but he'll stay for double what they're paying him.
So, he's made this kayfabe.
Yes.
He's made this real.
Well, this is real.
Yeah.
Even Tony Khan has made it real.
So, the dude is like, 2024, it's just right around the corner. You figure out how much you're going to pay me.
Yeah.
Because he is his character.
The thing with that is this, okay?
Well, I was going to pose a question to you first, if you don't mind.
Okay, question first, and then I'll go for it.
What we've talked about this already, so I just want to reiterate what your thoughts are. What would happen with Maxwell Jacob Freeman in the E? What would Vince McMahon do with this?
I reference C. Ethan Carter III.
100% agree.
That's what because I was actually going to discuss that as you posed the question. We're on the same wavelength as we sometimes are. He can't go to the E because he can't be this in the WWE.
No.
They want you to be your character, but they don't want you to do anything that's going to get them in trouble at some point. And the second that he calls some little kid something and flips him off, they are 24/7 champion train banging his ass. That's the truth. They will not let him be this. They have never let anybody be that.
No.
The closest you could maybe go with is Roddy Piper. And I'm not comparing the two to that. I'm saying someone who's gotten away with it, Shawn Michaels, they're never going to let a Shawn Michaels type be in control again. It's never going to happen.
I'm going to quote CM Punk. He would be Miz Light.
Yeah.
The closest he could be is as edgy as Miz gets. And Miz does not get edgy.
No, he can't be that on that show. What they're going to do is, the thing is that's funny is that I think they're looking at him as the rating spike. They're not looking at him as the whole package. They're looking at him and going, when his program comes on, they destroy us. So this guy...
We need him!
We've got to get this guy. But I guarantee you they have not watched that promo. I guarantee you they have not watched him be MJF.
I agree. I disagree. I believe they have.
Maybe.
I believe that they have shown Vince some snippets. But what they have not shown Vince is him at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
They have not showed the pictures his family is sharing.
Yeah,
They're
no.
not showing him his Twitter page of the things he says to people in tragedies.
And unfortunately with this could also easily devolve into the stories that we have out there of if they could snag him, they would, to take away from the other promotion just so that way they could stick him in a box and be like, all right, for the next 3 years, you're off of their program, you're on our program, and you are over here in the mid-card dead, and we will devalue you and send you back out to the wild once we separate.
And then he's like, I need him. Like, no, you don't get those. Because he's not the greatest wrestler in the world. He's not.
He is
He's
a
good
wrestler, but he is not.
He's not putting out 5-star matches.
Yeah, he's not AJ Styles.
Right.
He's not Daniel Bryan. He's not in that echelon of just.
But he's also.
Great, but he is a good worker. I would easily compare. He can work with Drew McIntyre.
He could.
He can work with Bobby Lashley.
If
He can
somebody has a talent level, he will. I know you hate when I say this, but he's a lot like the Miz in the sense that if the Miz is given if the Miz is given a good opponent, it makes the Miz look good.
Yeah.
He can work with many different styles and make it work. But if he was to wrestle the Miz, it would be a horrible match.
Well, that's the other thing I think we have to look at is that what kind of match is he gonna have in the WWE?
Well, there's no, because we
as we've learned,
He
Vince likes 2 styles of matches, maybe 3, and that's what we get every week, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. I don't see this working out if he goes to the E. And if he does, I hope he gets the fattest contract he could possibly get.
So in my opinion, this is what's happening. Hey, Tony. Vince said 50 mil. 52? Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, I got
Vince. Hey, Tony. Vince said 5.
Yeah.
6? Vince. Tony said 6. 6'5"? 6'5". Do I hear 7?
Yeah.
7? 8? 8? No 8? No 8? No, we're not going to tell Tony. Hey, Tony, Vince won't touch it. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, and good for him. Good for him. As we've talked about with wrestler pay and things like that over the last few weeks of our show, you can go back and check our archive for us really breaking down a lot of the pay scale that wrestlers have right now, especially working at the E. I don't see him being this successful as he is right now in 5 years at the WWE. But I could see him being this successful continually in AEW.
Or leaving AEW for a little bit and doing maybe a little bit of Impact, a little bit of Ring of Honor, a little bit of Japan.
I don't think he needs any of that.
Oh, he doesn't.
The other thing with that is that's 2 years from now, basically. 2 years. Is Vince dead in 2 years?
I mean,
if Vince is dead in 2 years, what do we look like?
Right.
Moving on.
Yep. Sorry. Worst gimmick / storylines of 2021.
Okay.
So here's some things that the public has said, some things that I called from online. And I added a couple. I had one that Dad wanted me to put on here. So this is in no particular order, but we can just try to agree which one of these is the worst.
We're gonna recap the year a little bit here.
Yeah,
you know, we're gonna give you guys a little bit of a
happened?
Flashback, the best and the worst of what has happened in the year of 2021, which has also been a year of the best and a lot of the worst of everything.
There's a lot more worse than there is best.
Yeah, well,
and it's gonna go. You're gonna notice some different companies.
But you know what we got this year? We got a new Spider-Man movie.
We did it. It was amazing.
And we got a new Matrix movie next week, and that'll be good too.
So, first, like I said, no particular. Lily the Living Doll.
Bad. Very, very bad. This, and surprisingly, the one directly below it were my 2 nominations for worst.
So we'll get to the second one in a minute. So
terrible.
So this was how we determined. So we can't say Bray anymore.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna have Lily control everything. And if you go back a few months in the archives, where Mike said they're going to put the title on the doll.
I thought they were.
They didn't do that. Thankfully,
I thought 1,000% they were going to put the title on the doll, and the doll was going to turn into a real person, and probably that real person might have been played by Tegan Knox.
Well, the doll did blink at us on TV once.
Yes, well, multiple times.
Oh, Joe Beth liked Lily.
Oh, the problem was not her interacting with the doll. The problem was the doll interacting with the universe.
Yes.
It was controlling things. It somehow had a horror plot. It had a more developed, plotted out, better shot story where it was stalking Shayna Baszler
Right.
through the back halls of the Thunderdome than your World Championship match did. Terrible.
I thought it started off okay, and it just devolved.
It just got too hokey.
All right. So next nomination there, Lacey Evans, Rick, and Charlotte Flair.
This was the worst storyline of the year, not because it was cut short, but it was just shaping up to be the worst. It basically killed the passion of one of the better female workers that you have in the company. It basically pushed out a legend that you have in the company. We're not going to necessarily go with the fact of he probably would have been under fire anyway 6 months down the road when the Dark Side, plane story came out. But also
It made Lacey look horrible.
it made Lacey look terrible. It made Rick look completely emasculated and bad. It made Charlotte look awful. And you really had to insinuate that Ric Flair was banging Lacey and impregnated her. And then it just all washed. It was terrible. This was one of the worst storylines of the year.
Because 2 months before that, Lacey was the Marine with the Marine daughter, women power.
Yeah, I mean, and then
we went from women power to...
And then she turned...
Sugar
she went
daddy.
from Southern Belle to Southern Hooer very, very quickly.
So this was one of Dad's number one problems with the year because he forgot about Lacey Evans. The Sami Zayn conspiracy that went nowhere.
Well,
because he keeps referencing that he's still waiting for the movie to come out.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the problem with that is not that it went nowhere; it's that it had nowhere to go.
Well, no, I agree.
The fact that if they would have done some kind of wrap up, and I don't want to say devote more television time to people who aren't wrestlers who aren't there, but if they would have done something with the camera crew basically being like, "This dude's a nutcase,"
right,
and we're done. We're not doing anything. And Sammy's like, but the movie's going to validate me, and then he keeps saying, I have the raw footage. I'm working. It just
went nowhere. It stalled.
I can't say it stalled. It didn't go anywhere. It just never ended anywhere.
Right. So,
but I can't say it was the worst.
20 years from now, it'll be like The Hand all grown up. The movie will finally come out 20 years from now on a
maybe
40th anniversary of Raw.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, it just seemed like the conspiracy theorist character was wrapping up, and they didn't want it to, but they didn't know how to give it any more legs.
All right. Next, the Evolution.
Massive fail.
Remember,
and the sad thing is that it could... I don't know how I feel about this after reevaluating the Eva valuation.
Really?
The problem is did we kill it, or was it? I mean, it was dead on arrival anyway.
Well, remember,
right? But did we as the audience kill it because she could have? She's not a bad heel.
No, we didn't.
She's annoying as shit.
No,
which is good.
We did not kill it, and I'll give you an answer why.
But the question I have is because we had the reports of Eva's coming back. Okay, but we just fired a bunch of people. Why is Eva getting a job? Well, Eva's going to be this character. Okay, but she's not going to wrestle. Then why is she on the wrestling show? But now she's going to wrestle because everybody complained that she was a wrestler hired not to wrestle. But then she has a match and we go, well, that wasn't good. But then, I feel like we took the legs out from under it as fans before it kind of got a chance. But overall, I can't say it was a bad idea, but it wasn't one of the worst storylines.
When she said, it's not going where you think it's going, you're going to be surprised. And then it went exactly where we thought it was going, and there was no surprise.
Well, I would have liked her be an effective heel. I mean, I don't know. Like I said,
It wasn't one of the worst, but it was a bad one.
I mean, it was bad, but I think we as the viewers really took it a lot further of how bad it was than what it could have been.
So we hijacked it.
Yeah, we kind of hijacked the storyline and made it really bad.
Okay.
And I would have liked to have seen what her managing Brock Lesnar would have looked like, but I guess Rena decided, nah.
I should have. This is the worst one of. This is the absolute worst one of the year, in my opinion. But we're going to talk about everything else anyway. NXT 2.0.
Killed my love of the black and gold brand.
Yeah, NXT 2.0. There was nothing redeemable about it at all. Period. No. We've gone on and on about it, so we're just gonna.
We're going to go on about it here in a little bit too. So yeah. NXT 2.0 is
the worst gimmick of the year.
Yeah, it's a failure.
I put this one in for you. Let's murder people. 2021 had a lot of murders.
I forgot because they had the bleed over from the previous year into the new year. I had forgotten how far of a stretch people being murdered on television, or with Goldberg referencing actually murdering people happening.
3 of them, right? There's 3 of them in 2021?
Yes, there was 3. So, no. That's pretty bad. Definitely Bray Wyatt being resurrected after being murdered was bad.
And we're going to probably get back to that in probably a couple of the worst matches of the year, too.
Yeah.
The Queen's Crown Tournament. There was a comment about this one I really liked. The fact that the Queen's Crown Tournament in its entirety was shorter than Roman Reigns' entrance.
Yeah.
The entire tournament.
It was
took less time than it takes.
Your women's evolution, revolution, de-evolution, devolving catastrophe that was so bad. And the fact that you had a shot, because you do have some incredibly talented females, and I'm not necessarily knocking the people who aren't physical in their performance.
When you had Zelina Vega go over Doudrop, who beat Shayna Baszler the week before.
Yes, that was bad. And just even if you were gonna do Zelina Vega at the end, Zelina should not have had a legitimate match. Zelina should have gone out there and, I don't know, hit her with Bunny's brass knuckles or something and won the match. But the fact that, once again, they booked themselves into a roll-up. That's essentially what happened is when they don't know what to do, just sunset flip, 1, 2, 3, get the hell out of there, as Jim Cornette would say. Right. That's the only way they know how to get out of a bad storyline is just roll them up. 1, 2, 3.
Zelina Vega had not won a single match before she won the entire Queen's Tournament.
Yes. For 3 months, she hadn't won a match. Moving on.
So moving on, companies too. So the Cody and Coach Anderson with Malachi Black. So we watched the video a few months back about. So you had Cody turn his back on Coach Anderson, Arn Anderson, and then Arn Anderson turned his back on Cody, and then 1 week later, everybody was happy, and they were fighting Malachi.
And then he shows up at his house and burns his Hollywood clothing and tells him he needs to get back to basics. And
then they go back to basics, and he just gets the crap beat out of him by the juniors, and then a week later, everything's fine.
I don't know. Did you get my? I know it's on the Facebook, but did you get my notation? The fact of
it's on the
nobody knows what to do with Cody.
No, that's gonna be part of the storyline.
Everything.
That's the storyline.
I don't know if this was the worst Cody storyline, but it was definitely the most pointless one.
In 2021, it was the worst one.
No.
He took most of 2021 off.
Well, yeah, because he was doing his reality thing.
Because it started with Malachi Black getting his face kicked off. But he went away, came back, and then went nowhere, and now he's being redirected with... All right.
Yeah, moving on.
Jericho versus America's Top Team.
It gave us some okay television. I can't say it was the worst. Dan Lambert's a great heel. And honestly, it showed... I thought Junior Dos Santos and Andre Arlovsky did very well. I liked that they were able to get... having George Masvidal in there was good. Having Emmanuel Nunez in there was good. So those are two actual current competing UFC people. You know, Arlovsky and Dos Santos are not in the company, I think, anymore, and they're doing something else. But they actually have two big stars in there with them.
Well, I had to
Dan
find...
Lambert did a lot of the talking.
Lambert was great.
I just think the problem with this is that this, to me, screamed what Jericho complained about 25 years ago about, as we've talked about with Jericho, the old people grabbing a hold of the new people and the new hotness to make themselves relevant. And it just seemed like the ATT guys were in one storyline over here with these people, and then all of a sudden Chris Jericho was involved.
Yeah, the other problem with it for me was I saw it a year and a half before that in Impact with Bobby Lashley, because Bobby Lashley was part of America Top Team.
Yeah.
I needed something from AEW, though. I mean, AEW hasn't had a lot of misses.
Well, they
storyline.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you want to throw some out, please do. The last one that I have written down before you throw some of the ones that you want to add,
okay,
was Prince Apollo. Apollo Crews apparently becoming a Nigerian prince all of a sudden with the accent and Commander Stereotype.
I might have to go back and say that might have been the worst. I mean, well, the only thing with that is that so far, at least they've stuck to their guns with that.
They have. And
he hasn't just shown back up on Raw and just started talking normal again.
Yes, he still has...
At least he's still... crazy.
He still has Captain Stereotype.
Yeah, because they have nothing else to do with him.
Giant metal Q-tip.
Yeah, I mean, that was bad. That was really bad. And it's just, you know, they should have gone a step further and just made him actually crazy and just made him a nutcase. But I don't know. Like I said, somebody in the production showed Vince Black Panther, and he went... I have to have that on my show.
So, in my opinion, the top on my list here... Oh, actually, sorry. Do you want to add anything to the list before I vote for...
I think Team Taz versus anybody, especially Sting and Darby, was really bad.
Okay.
That was a pretty horrible one. I don't know how far back it goes, but the bleed-in of the wrap-up of Pinnacle versus Inner Circle was really awful. I know that was... I know that started about, October last year, but the finish didn't come all the way through until this year. That was really bad.
I enjoyed it.
I didn't.
So,
I really
didn't. That's fine.
I thought that one was pretty bad. And then, really, Cody anything this year has been not good. Cody's Malachi Black storylines have been bad. Cody's I'm going to push the younger talent by beating them with sleeper holds in 2 minutes has been bad. Pretty much anything Cody's touched has been bad. And obviously, I think probably some of the women was Shaq in them this year, or did that take place? That was
Winter's Coming last year, so it was December of 20.
So about that time, okay. I would say probably some of the women's stuff that they did around that area was probably really bad.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so we're going to go 3, 2, 1. As far as 3, 2, third worst, second worst, absolute worst. Based on everything you've just said and the list here. Number 3 for you?
Queen Tournament.
3 for me is Let's Murder People.
Okay.
2.
NXT 2.0.
2 for me is Lacey Evans.
Number 1 for me is Lacey and Rick.
Number 1 for me is NXT 2.0.
Okay, yeah.
We're pretty similar.
We're pretty much there. Yeah.
All right, so now let's talk about the better gimmicks of the year.
Okay.
And we're not going to be able to spend as much time.
Yeah, no.
There wasn't a lot of really good gimmicks. All right. So we have CM Punk and MJF, which is still progressing.
Yeah, I don't know if I can say that's the best.
Well, remember,
because we don't really have a storyline so far. They haven't really touched. They haven't.
Okay.
The only thing they've done is cut promos on each other that last half of Rampage.
okay.
So we don't really have anything to build off of. So I can't say it's the best. I would truly say the best storyline gimmick
Going.
from that would
Well,
be...
we're going to talk about each of these a little bit.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
no. I'm still on this.
Oh, okay.
I'm still on this. But I think from that would probably... I honestly thought, because I don't see it in the list, I thought Bryan Danielson was a little bit better done than CM Punk's kind of thing. But I think CM Punk and MJF will probably have the best storyline of next year.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
what I loved, and I know we're going to jump ahead just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was amazing that MJF on this week's Dynamite's like, hey, Mr. Good on the mic, you couldn't think of anything to say, so you said, oh, let's boo on the team. And it's like, that's what everybody was thinking.
That's what everybody was thinking, yes.
You, got caught off and you couldn't come up with something good, so you booed on the home team.
Yeah.
That was great. All right, so Tribal Chief. I mean, pretty
Perfect.
much anything Roman
Well,
Reigns.
no, I mean, we can go back a little bit and say it was kind of rocky at the first of the year, especially with the whole continuation of the family and beating up on the family and the returning injured family member and having to beat them into submission when they were trying to pull their brother out, to them just turning into complete evilness.
So you don't think it was a good storyline this year?
Oh no, I think it was a great
Wait, okay,
storyline.
that's what I'm getting at.
But I'm saying it had... I can't say it was
every storyline's got ups and
one
downs.
of the best, but it definitely was up there. I would say Roman Reigns as the tribal chief, becoming the tribal chief, is absolutely.
All right, Rollins and Edge's storyline.
I probably honestly would have kicked this to the most mediocre. I didn't like this at all.
Okay.
I don't think the home invasion thing was bad.
I wasn't a fan of that, but
That-
the whole I like the storyline as far as their record.
Well,
where they're coming from.
I don't like it because
They
I
put-
mean I love that part of the story. I don't like it because they WWE'd it, where they just had to basically invent it by reminding everybody, by showing it, and it was in a 2-minute recap video, and now that's what the whole storyline's about.
Look, dude, do you know how hard it was to find good things from this year? So stop poo-pooing on everything. All right, the $1 million title reign.
No,
You didn't think that was good? All right,
I didn't think that was very good.
miserable Corbin. Corbin running around backstage thinking...
Bum-ass Baron Corbin. Okay, yeah, I will say that started off as the best, but now...
Oh, no, just...
Now that we have...
Happy Corbin belongs on the worst gimmicks.
Happy Corbin has now moved into the worst, but Miserable Corbin was probably one of the better things this year, yes.
And Pat McAfee on SmackDown.
I'm just going to ruin it. That's my
Big
best thing of the
boobs.
year is Pat McAfee getting over Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura on Smack. Basically, Pat McAfee getting over anything on SmackDown is the best thing of this year.
So, do you have any other things that were great this year that I did not list because you poo-pooed on most of them?
Hangman Page.
The redemption of Hangman Page.
redemption of Hangman Page.
That was listed on other people's things, and I just didn't know if you would think, because I felt like the redemption didn't take very long. It was quick.
Well, I think once we talk about this week's show, we can have a finalization of that to a point. But the fact of he wasn't transitional, the fact that he took it off the guy that he should have took it off of, and again, as I said on our Full Gear show, we got the feel-good moment that everybody saw coming and wanted, and it didn't piss people off because they didn't dilute it down. And when they had the spots to do the run-ins, they were like, no run-ins.
Okay, you know what? I got it. While you're saying that, thinking about it, you're right. They did not WWE it because we were not constantly reminded that he had an alcohol problem.
Yes.
6 months earlier.
Yes. We didn't have to do any of that. Hangman Page just came out and did cowboy shit, and that was really good. And I know we're really only talking WWE to AEW, but I honestly think the best storyline, the best gimmick is AEW's willingness to work with TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan, MLW, whatever. That is the best storyline gimmick of the entire year. It should be in here. The Forbidden Door being knocked down.
Yep, Forbidden Door.
That it was the best thing. Regardless of what we got out of it, the fact that it happened on national network televisions across multiple platforms that told a good story.
Nobody else think of that.
That ties into the emergence of Hangman Page being that guy is the best storyline.
All right, you know what? Forbidden Door. All right.
Yeah.
So, number 3?
Number 3 is Tribal Chief.
Number 3, Miserable Corbin.
Yeah, all right.
Number 2?
Number 2, Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee. And number 1 is going to be Forbidden Door now. Because
the Forbidden Door.
Yeah, good call on the Forbidden Door thing. All right. So, I have gone through and found Dave Meltzer's top negative stars and positive stars. So, these are the matches that Dave Meltzer thought were the best and the worst matches.
I'm assuming the best is going to be all AEW and the worst is going to be all WWE.
When we get to the AEW...
And I guarantee you his number 1 match of the year involves the Young Cucks.
When we get to the best of matches, we'll talk about parameters that I removed.
All right,
so... I guess we're going to go with best of first. So, best of. All right, so best of. All right, so back up. So, when it came to the Uncle Dave's best ofs, I removed anything with the Young Bucks.
Ooh.
I removed anything from New Japan because we cannot watch New Japan right now.
I'm seeing some of it, but we don't get enough
And I
coverage.
removed a few matches that were on AEW specific pay-per-views before we had the ability to watch them.
Okay.
So, so there are a few Young Bucks matches that have been removed.
Okay.
There may be 1 or 2 matches that had Kenny Omega in it that I didn't feel he should have put over as well.
Okay.
All right. So, by the way, in doing this research, do you realize that Dave Meltzer has given 1 match and 1 match only a 7-star rating?
I didn't know he'd even gone... What?
And it was, in your opinion, one of the best matches you've ever seen. Also, Kenny Omega versus Okada from New Japan, like 2018.
Oh, is he going back to that?
No. When I was doing this research, I saw that on there as the top.
So is he just? I mean, but he's.
Okay, so he had a 6-star match on this list that I took off.
Was it Kenny Omega?
No, it was
the Young Bucks.
It was the Young Bucks versus the Lucha guys in the steel cage at the pay-per-view that we didn't watch or review. So
okay, all right. Anyway,
all right. So Adam Page versus Kenny Omega, Full Gear, gave it 5.5 stars.
I wouldn't have given it 5.5.
Well, you wouldn't have gone above 4, so.
I didn't give a lot of 5-star matches this year.
Right.
I think I only gave 5-star to 3 matches. Maybe 4. I would not say this is a 5.5, but I'll definitely go 4.5.
All right, 5.25 was Walter versus Dragunov at the TakeOver.
I gave this one a good 5.
But didn't you like the first match better?
I liked the first one better.
But I think that was 2020.
Yeah, but that was in the year before. It was basically almost 8 months before, I think.
Okay, and yeah, that's the only WWE match on this list.
Yeah,
Meltzer. Then we had Adam Page versus Brianal Danielson from.
Just happened this past week.
Can we talk? You want to talk about this match right now?
No, we'll save it. We'll save it. But I will say that again, 4.5, 4.7, definitely borderline 5-star match because they got themselves out of a booking nightmare by doing something that I don't think anybody thought they were going to do, and the match was solid. Okay, moving on.
This is the only Matt Jackson Boy match I put on there because I did watch this match, and this match was everything it says it was. This was an amazing match.
AEW Full Gear 2021, Christian Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, Adam Cole, Matt, and Nick
The
Jackson.
Super Click versus Jurassic Express with Christian. The match was amazing.
I thought the match was really good. I think the addition of Christian kind of out of nowhere, maybe, but also, I know you can't have Marco Stunt in there.
Yeah.
Because it's...
Yeah.
It just would have made Luchasaurus look like Godzilla. Everybody in that match who's not Luchasaurus is barely 6 foot, including Christian Cage.
He's a lot taller than you think.
Christian held his own. He did very, very well. I don't know if I'd give this a 5, but I'd definitely give it a 4.5. This was a damn good match.
Danielson versus Kenny Omega in the Grand Slam. We've already referenced this match a little bit ago.
Good match. Very, very good match. Again, upper 4s, border 5s, but I don't know if I'd have called it a 5.
And Kenny Omega versus Rey Fenix, which was at the very beginning of the year, which I don't think you saw anything from, and I tried to tell you how amazing this match was.
I think I did go and watch that. I will say that was a good match. Yeah, that was a good match.
So on this page, which was your favorite match?
Probably, Dragunov and Walter are great, but, honestly, I think the story they told, man, I don't know, because Paige and Omega and Dragunov and Walter are almost the same story.
Mm-hmm.
They're almost the same. Man, I don't know.
Tie for first?
Maybe. I hate ties. It's almost like,
Kissing
no
your sister?
contests or something like that, but damn, that's
For me, it's Omega and Danielson.
The
30-minute match they had.
Omega and Danielson, yeah.
That's my number one.
Yeah,
number two,
basically look at Hangman Page.
And number 2 was Dragunov and Walter.
I've got to go with Dragunov and Walter, I think, is my number 1, just because I think the thing with that is that the match that they had 8 months prior was a match that no one had really seen on WWE TV in a long time.
Yeah. No.
And the fact that it got over so much almost in like a groundswell, because it was on UK TV, it was not super featured, and everybody talked about it, and everybody spun it up as this great match, that they decided to do it again and actually let the guys have pretty much the same style of match on the WWE show, as it were.
And a bigger network and more people.
Bigger network with more people, with a better... Yeah, I think I might have to go with Walter and Dragunov as the best match of the year.
All right, so that was, according to Uncle Dave, these are the best matches that I found, as other people had nominated on various polls. If I didn't think it was where it made the cut, I got rid of some really stupid ones and things that were in New Japan that we couldn't watch.
Yeah,
like apparently Jeff Cobb versus Kenta.
We talked about that. That was a great match. And don't forget, what was it, Ospreay's match?
Right, Ospreay's match was on there too.
Yeah, okay.
Which I didn't get to see, and I wish, because Jeff Cobb, personal friend of mine, I would love to, All right.
Personal friend, get him on the show. Shit,
I would love to. So, again, this is no particular order. I took the ones that were already on the list out of this list.
Mm-hmm.
Edge versus Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel, the Hell in a Cell match. I know you weren't a big fan of it.
No.
I thought it was an amazing match. Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks with WrestleMania. I honestly don't remember that match being amazing. Because so much of WrestleMania was not.
I will say, I don't think that would be a best match, but it would definitely be...
It won ESPY Awards. There was the storyline behind it. Exactly. That's why everybody thinks it's a great match. Perfect.
The problem with that is that, much like I said, because we've had such bad things happen, the fact that we got a good match was... that's kind of the level of fandom that you have with the WWE at this point, is we just expect everything to suck, and the fact that it didn't suck, and they were given time, and they did execute very properly, yes. But in the term of women matches that happened this year, I would not put that as even the best women's match of the year.
Roman Reigns versus John Cena at SummerSlam. That was a great match. I remember when I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's right. The build-up was good. The fact that Roman Reigns like, if I lose, I'm quitting. And you're like, how is that?
Are we looking... When they threw that in, it kind of cinched it. Also, the fact that we had the information come out that John was only booked for one more episode after the fact made it seem like he definitely wasn't going to win.
But we thought he was going to maybe drop it to somebody younger. It was a way to get off of Roman.
But
I thought it was a good match. I remember it being a good match.
Again, good or best? That's what we talked about.
A better match in 2021.
Okay.
I'm not saying it was the best match on this list. I'm just saying it was...
What did you do? How did you do that with your hand?
Magic. All right. Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan at Elimination Chamber.
That, I will say, was one of the best matches of the year. Especially for Roman Reigns, and it told a really good story, and it made you definitely feel about Daniel could have pulled it off.
And it showed the Bryan that we were about to get in AEW without realizing, thinking back
we
now. We
didn't know what we were going to get then to what we have now.
It was like, oh, this was him. This was like, hey, Tony, this is what I'm going to bring you.
Yeah.
Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly at TakeOver.
Was this the first one or the second one?
This was the second one.
No. Was this the triple?
No, this was the one-on-one.
So because first they did the one-on-one, and then they did the triple match.
Okay, this is the one-on-one.
If this is the one-on-one, yes. If this is the triple tier match, then no.
Right, no, it was the one-on-one.
Yeah.
Oh, you're thinking of the 3 stages.
Yeah.
Okay, no, this was the one-on-one.
The one-on-one match, absolutely. Yeah, the 3 stages match, no.
Thunder Rosa's for Dr. Britt Baker.
This
the best women's match of the year.
Best women's match of the year, in my opinion.
Yes.
At least that we have been able to view.
And I feel that I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm gonna say that Uncle Dave is sexist because he did not give this a 5-star.
Yeah, no, that should have been up there.
Lashley versus McIntyre, Hell in the Cell.
Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne.
Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne, NXT same. Look at all these NXT matches back when NXT was great.
Yeah, I would honestly have said that. Great. I should have added this in the 5-5 matches. Anyway, continue on.
So Balor and Dunne, yes.
Yeah, Balor and Dunne, great.
Lashley versus McIntyre, Hell in the Cell. This is when Drew took it from Bobby.
No, he didn't take it from Bobby. Bobby retained in this one, didn't he?
Well, that's right, because I can never compete again.
Yeah. Well, the match was good. I think the ending that they had of it was bad, but this is the one where Lashley tore his shoulder open on the cage door.
Right.
It
was good. It wasn't.
It was probably those two guys' best match of the year.
Rhea Ripley and Asuka.
Great until the finish, because they fucked the finish up.
Bianca and Sasha at WrestleMania. Didn't we say that already? We did that. We said that already.
Yeah.
Oh, they flipped it on me. Damn it.
Because you have night 1 and then 30.
And I also have Thunder Rosa and Big Baker again. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly.
That's the Stand and Deliver night 2.
That's the triple.
I think that was the triple one. Okay, no. Okay. I thought that match was pretty bad.
Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers, All Out. That was
I'll admit it. That was a good match. Yeah.
Ciampa versus Walter.
Ooh, yeah, absolutely. That was a good match.
And then Gargano and Kushida same night, or no, that wasn't the same night, but that was the vengeance. That was
the other takeover. Ooh, yeah.
That was an amazing match too.
Okay.
So
my addition is I was trying to think really hard, and I also had to remember when it took place. But I'm pretty certain it's on TakeOver 36 or 35. It might be 30, or is it Stand and Deliver? Which was the?
Tell me the match, and I'll tell you.
It's the 3. I want to say the 3-way and then the 5-way match. The 5-way that had Karrion Kross at the title with Johnny Gargano, with Pete Dunne, with Finn Balor, with...
Ooh!
That. But what was the 3-person match that they did before that one? That I believe had Johnny Gargano, Pete Dunne, and... Was it Finn?
Oh, yeah.
Or was it Kyle? That one.
It was Kyle. Kyle, Adam, and Cross.
Was it that one? Oh, I don't know. But I would say the best match of the year, in my opinion.
I think that these are all one-on-ones, and that's why.
I would say the best match of the year. Well, no, we have tag team matches in there. The best match of the year was WWE, NXT, the 3-way dance, and then the following 5-way dance.
Okay.
Because that 5-way could have and should have been a clusterfuck, and it turned out to be one of the best things that I'd seen.
Yeah.
Because they smoothed everything out, and the fact that they added 2 people into... Because the same people who had done the 3-way shot had 2 people added to it to get to the belt to cross. And that 3-way was beautiful. But that 5-way match is probably one of the... That match was amazing. Yeah, okay. I think I have to go with that one.
Okay.
We'll update this in a little bit. All right, moving on. What do you think? What was the best match of the year?
For me, I would probably give number 3. I would give it to, on this list, I would give number 3 to Britt and Thunder.
Okay.
Number 2, Gargano and Kushida. Oh no, but Ciampa and Walter.
Yeah.
And then I want to give that number 1, that 5-way number 1.
Yeah, that 5-way was.
But if I'm gonna just go on just one-on-one matches. All right, so Takeover. See, we're gonna say Takeover.
I want to say it was 36 because Cole and O'Reilly were not in it.
Takeover 36 was...
What do we got? Event. Or results. Yeah, get a results. Should be the last one.
No, that was...
Okay, so it was 35.
Yeah, because the 36 was the 2 out of 3 match. Yeah. And Samoa Joe defeated Karrion Kross.
Yeah, Dragunov and Walter was on that one, so it had to have been 35.
Which was called...
Riveting television, y'all.
In your house, just take over in your house.
Was that what it was? Was in your house?
You
went to event. That's the breakdown. Just go to results.
That was Karrion Kross with Kyle O'Reilly, with Adam Cole, with Johnny Gargano, and Pete Dunne. Fatal 5-way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That his match of the year.
That was. Yeah, that match was. Damn, that match has to be match of the year, and I would give Ciampa and Walter to the number 2 spot.
Okay,
but
that's fair.
But I want again. We're gonna look at. You have NXT matches being our top 1. Yeah. Black and Gold NXT, the top 3 matches of the year.
Yeah.
For us.
And now their show is the worst show.
And we love a lot of the AEW matches, but they just did not compete with the level of NXT.
Yeah, and I mean the stardom that they had with it was just so. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I think those were probably the best. And then again, going back to it, there's also one match that I think needs to be added to it is Darby and MJF. Darby and MJF is probably up there just because
it was one of the best matches of the year.
I didn't expect that type of match from either one of them.
It was better than Roman Reigns and Cena. It was better than Rollins and Edge. It was better than anything Rhea Ripley did this year.
Sadly, yeah. All of Rhea Ripley's was last year.
I mean, it had the same level of Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of really good matches this year. Sadly, it came from a company that no longer exists.
Well, I mean, it does.
It does no longer exist.
It came from a program that no longer exists. All right, moving on.
So now we're going to go with Dave Meltzer's negative star matches for the year.
Okay.
Again, there was one New Japan match that I had to take out of it because we didn't see it. It was Yano, so go figure.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
Negative 3 stars for the Priest versus Miz with the zombies.
Ooh. Yeah. What was the other movie match that they had?
That they just did.
Was it? Well, yeah, but didn't they have another Netflix? I know they just did the The Rock.
Right.
egg
That
thing.
was what this was from. This was from
No.
Dave Bautista's movie.
That happened at WrestleMania. That's the Army of the Dead movie.
Right.
The Rock is the thief movie called Red Notice.
Right. There was no match for that. It was just an egg running around.
But I thought they did another.
No.
We got money from somebody. Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. The Pizza Hut Battle Royal match,
No.
where Omos, the Colossus Omos, won.
Okay, we'll talk about that on matches that weren't
all right.
starred.
Yeah, that was bad.
And then he gave -1 stars to Randy versus Bray Wyatt.
-5 stars. As Brian Alvarez would say, -5 stars.
Yeah. There were a couple of matches that were zeros, and a lot of them that I didn't put in here, and a lot
basically anything at this point. Also, Alexa versus Randy with the fireball.
That's going to come. That's coming.
Okay. All right. Yep. Okay.
Because a lot of the matches that had 0 stars, unfortunately, involved Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
And they're going to be on this next
Because
list.
they weren't matches. All right, moving on.
Nothing else to say about... I mean, I think he's got it right with this.
Yeah, absolutely. These are terrible.
All right. Randy Orton versus The Fiend, WrestleMania.
God awful. The only thing was how hot Alexa Bliss looked with black blood screaming
That was
down
right
her
there.
face.
Oh, I guess I lied. Oh, well. It just was that bad.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg the first time, SummerSlam. Where Goldberg hurt himself.
Goldberg hurt himself, forgot how to sell about being hurt, and then proceeded to choke his own son out on TV. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch, 30-second match.
Yes. Yeah, 27 seconds.
27 seconds.
I can't call that a match. That wasn't a match. That was a segment. It was a segment. I would put that under worst segment of the year.
So I'm going to go ahead and give you some... If you don't remember this match, Big E versus Apollo Crews at Fastlane.
I remember this, yeah.
Do you remember why it was so bad?
That was not as bad as the SmackDown match where they screwed up the roll-up.
Oh, that's what this was supposed to be. No, that's what this... I'm sorry. That's the SmackDown match. It should be.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be
where they screwed up like 8 moves in a row and then screwed up the finish so bad that for what I can almost say is one of the first times in Thunderdome history, they decided to not shoot the match. Because I always ask that question of, if a guy throws a punch that doesn't look good or something happens, just cut to the people. Cut to the bank of cameras that you have. Do something. Don't shoot the guys looking bad. And they do it.
And they announced the wrong winner.
And this was so bad of a screw-up at their finish, the announcers didn't know what happened, and they cut to the crowd and didn't show it on replay. That was how bad they screwed that match up.
Yes, this was the
Okay, yeah.
SmackDown match. His shoulder clearly came up, and
that was so bad.
Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie at SummerSlam. Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton at Fastlane. Alexa Bliss versus Shayna Baszler at Hell in a Cell.
I can't say her versus Eva was one of the worst. The storyline that got there was bad, but the match itself was passable. I don't think it was one of the worst.
It's the best of Alexa Bliss's matches listed.
Her and Shayna, maybe? Oh, wait. Well, no. Was the Shayna one at Hell in the Cell? Was that the one where...
That was after she'd been chased by the doll, and she was scared of the doll in the corner.
Didn't they also do a smash cut segment, a pre-tape of Lily having CGI winking at Shayna Baszler in that match? Okay, yeah,
they did.
I mean, I'm trying to... I guess I'm being polite to Alexa because we love her so much at the household.
Well, I do too. She's adorable.
Yeah, but I just mean in general. Like, I like Lexi's attitude about things. I like that she got to do a character that she wanted to do, and obviously, as we've talked about, my wife loves Alexa Bliss's horror, cheesy aspects of production, but man, yeah, I don't think the Eva Marie match was that bad, but I definitely think the Shayna Baszler one was pretty bad, yeah.
And then Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon was Shane wanting to be on TV.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Was this when they started pumping in the choo-choo noises for him?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yes, it was.
I already did that one. Rhea Ripley and
versus-
Charlotte Flair.
I don't remember why this match was bad. I don't.
Didn't they screw something up really bad in that one too?
Probably.
I'm so blocked on why that was so bad, but
So I have another nominee for this.
basically, unfortunately, as much as I love my girl, anything that has Rhea Ripley on the main roster, anything since she's come to Raw,
You mean Queen Barb?
yeah, Queen Barb has been pretty not well handled since she showed up.
So I'm going to add a nominee to this.
Uh-huh.
Any match involving the worst wrestler in NXT. Well, I don't know where her name's. Not Tegan Knox.
Oh, damn you.
Can't think of her name. What's her
Um,
name? Tell me her name.
Shush. Dakota Kai.
Yeah, any match involved with Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
Any-
Yeah, Dakota. Well, she should be under worst wrestler of the year once we get to that point. Yeah. I don't know. I also, man, I really don't know if that really terrible screw up in the Big E Apollo Crews match where they were just not on the same page was maybe one of the worst that we saw. Was this year the one with the women's match in TNA where the girls fell out of the ring while trying to work with each other, or was that last year?
That was last year.
Okay. So that was
TNA didn't have a lot of women's matches this year.
so it wasn't this year with no, okay. The worst match of the year is Charlotte and Nia Jax.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they Yeah.
Charlotte and Nia Jax is the worst match of the year in my opinion because
Yeah.
it was a bad match thrown together because Vince threw the script out. It had a terrible bookend of Nia beating Charlotte, which made no sense because she had just been the retained champion, and Shayna and Nia were in a program that was going somewhere that ended up going nowhere. It led to a possible shoot breakdown. We say shoot. It led to a possible fight in the middle of the ring between two ladies that led to one of them being sent home permanently. And then another one basically being kicked to the other brand to find new blood to work with, and her being punished each week by having pies thrown in her face. I think that is the worst match of the year.
All right, so we don't have slides for the rest of the nominations. So, whatever. Get mad at me. I don't care.
What the fuck?
Because the next slide right here is for story time.
Okay, all right.
So, best male wrestler of the year.
Best male of the year. Man.
I was going to do something on feuds too, but I felt like storylines kind of covered that. So,
Oh, man. I think consistently, I would honestly say the best guy who probably had the best matches of the year. And I know oh man. All right, you do you. You do you. Let me think about it for a second.
So my number 3.
Oh, we're doing 3 up. That would have been nice to know.
Sorry, number 3 is Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
Brian Danielson, both, whatever you want to go up. Number 2, Jungle Boy.
He has no personality.
His matches. I'm talking about matches. I'm not talking about
No, you
personality.
said best male performer of the year.
Okay, all right, that's
Can't
fair.
do Jungle Boy. Sorry.
I can and I will.
All right.
Fine. All right, fine. Johnny Gargano. Number 2, Johnny Gargano.
Okay, number 1.
Number 1 is Roman Reigns.
Okay.
It hurts me to say that. But-
Number 3. Finn Balor.
Okay.
I think between last year and this year, Finn had some of the best matches on the show, and unfortunately, he probably gave Roman Reigns the best match of the year. It had such a bad ending. Number 2, because I'm also trying to think of people who were consistently there throughout the year
Right.
who had stuff. Number 2, as much as I want to give it to like Danielson and some other people, and even Hangman Page, I want to give it up there too. Honestly, I'd even almost say Omega.
You're gonna go Cole, aren't you?
No. I was actually going to go with number 2 as Darby.
Okay.
Because I just think Darby's...
Boogs!
Maybe. And surprisingly, I'd have to say the guy who probably closed out the year with some of the best matches, the most memorable television that we've gotten, whether it be good or bad, is Johnny Gargano. I think Johnny Gargano really cemented himself this year as a good performer, a great worker who could show up and do anything they wanted and make it believable. And this is me who has taken a massive dump on Johnny Gargano for 2 years.
He made
now.
Dexter Loomis work.
He made Dexter Loomis work.
Austin Aries the way
he slid into that 5-way so well. Yeah.
Him and Ciampa starting the year.
Austin Theory, not Austin Aries. Him and Ciampa with the start of the year. Him and Pete Dunne. Him just all over NXT. In everything that he did, I think Gargano would probably be the guy of 2021. I would again.
There are a lot of names that were good that it's hard to come up with.
I would have to say probably Kenny Omega is tied up there again. Just the quality of matches he had, the caliber of performance that he gave, being able to be the centerpiece, holding the Forbidden Door.
Someone
knockdown.
who hates Kenny Omega.
I don't hate Kenny Omega. No. That's putting that's words that aren't mine. I think Kenny has been exposed with national television, which I've said, of not being able to deliver what he should, and also
I thought you didn't like Kenny Omega from back when he was wrestling blow up dolls and
No. You're putting Cornette in my mouth, which I do not want Jim Cornette in my mouth ever.
Okay, fine.
What I've said with that is that I feel that he's been exposed and oversaturated with the television.
Agree.
But as the athlete, as the quality of performer, as the matches he's had is great. But I think his stroke fest of how great he is for AEW and their pals, the Young Bucks, and everything else has really hurt him.
Okay.
When he was doing when they were doing all the cheap heat stuff, of him doing, my hero Steve Urkel and him in the middle of matches going, "Did I do that?" and all that other crap. That pushed him out, I think, for me, because it was so obvious that he was doing things that made him and his buddies laugh.
Right.
And I know the super click is the joke with that, but he got pushed into Shawn Michaels territory of he was just doing whatever he wanted.
Okay. Most improved wrestler of the year.
Most improved wrestler of the year.
Or breakout star.
Breakout star, man. Are we doing 3, 2, 1?
Sure.
Okay. Most improved would
/ breakout.
Okay. Man.
Because when you improve yourself, you break yourself out, in my opinion.
Big E.
Okay.
Big E. Dr. Britt Baker.
Oh, nice.
And then number 1 would probably have to be Luchasaurus.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
All right, number 3, Dexter Loomis.
Oh, yeah.
Number 2, Cameron Grimes.
Okay. You know what? Yeah.
And number 1, I just lost it. Number 1, damn it.
That's why we have slides and rehearse things.
Yeah, we never rehearse.
Yeah.
We never rehearse. Number 1. So you know what? Just we'll go Dexter Loomis and Cameron Grimes until I can think of somebody for because I can't think of a number 1. So it's going to be Cameron Grimes is going to be my number 1.
Cameron Grimes is his number 1. Okay.
Because I mean, you can't say Brian Danielson because it's the same person.
No, I mean that would be under like debuts or like
Right.
something like that. Most shocking things that would be that would be under a list for that right there. But the most
I'd say my number 3 would probably be Big E also.
Big E, yeah, Big
You've
E's
got
probably
number
the most improved. Yeah.
Tag teams.
Best tag team of the year.
Oh wait, do we still have those anymore? Because we keep breaking.
We have a ton of them. We have a ton of tag teams. I mean, we can short this down to just one for the most part.
Yeah.
But honestly, I would say the best tag team of the year.
Or how about we do want to do faction?
No,
Because you hate factions.
No.
Jacket time.
No, definitely not Jacket Time. I would probably say the best tag team of the year. Either RK Bro, despite the fact of they just got together and then for 3 months are they going to break up tonight
Right.
things? And then probably, Gun Club.
Really?
I really think Gun Club did, they were pretty good this year. And they've really come on in the last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am not excited about a single WWE brand tag team. Not a single one of them.
Really?
None of them. So for me, it's Jungle, Jurassic Express, and
Yeah.
and the Lucha Brothers. I especially liked it when Pac was part of it too.
I guess I probably should have gone with the Lucha Bros, honestly, yeah. FTR, fuck it, FTR.
Oh,
they're always going to be the best.
they are legit the best.
Yeah, they're always going to be the best.
Because they have never had a bad match. You want to throw out a
What's the best pay-per-view of the year? Because for me, it's Full Gear. Full Gear was the best pay-per-view of the year, in my opinion.
It's going to be the last NXT. 36.
The final 2.0 full brand, huh?
No. NXT. I'm sorry, the last black and gold one, the one that 36.
No. That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what you're saying. Is
the one that had Walter, the one that had the
changing
5
of the guard.
Yeah,
the changing of the guard is the last good one.
The one when they had the 5-star with the 5-way match, the Dragunov one. They had the ladder match with Caveman and LA Knight.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was my favorite pay-per-view of the year.
That was really good. Yeah. Okay. And again, obviously, I think best company of the year has got to be AEW.
It would have been NXT Gold, Black and Gold. No, you know what? I'm going to say NXT Black and Gold. Then AEW.
I don't know. All right. What else? Do we have anything else?
Can you think of anything else? Best faction? The Way. They were annoying, but they were funny.
Imperium.
Okay.
Imperium. Yeah.
There really wasn't a whole lot of celebrity spots, so we can't pick up best commentator of the year is McAfee.
Absolutely, yeah. Worst is probably Excalibur. It will always be. What was the worst pay-per-view of the year? For me, I'm going to go Crown Jewel. I'm
going to go War Games.
War Games was it a pay-per-view?
It was on a Sunday night.
Oh, that's right, it was. What was the Halloween?
Halloween Havoc was free.
Havoc was free, yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah.
So, there was a lot of good, there was a lot of bad this year.
There was a lot of bad.
There was a lot of bad.
We watched the Thunderdome era go from brilliance to insanity very, very quickly.
We thought we were gonna, we thought we were gonna, when the live crowds, things were gonna get better, and in one company it did, which you didn't think it was going to.
I didn't think it was. And honestly, for the WWE, it got better for 3 weeks, and then they went back to business as normal. And pretty much when SummerSlam hit, I think that's when the plane took the nosedive for them with how they did it.
And I think the worst story from 2021 is in this week of firings, the biggest mismanagement of talent was what they did to Karrion Kross. That was the biggest injustice.
Keith Lee.
You know what?
Well, honestly, Karrion Kross, Keith Lee, and probably Tegan Knox all back-to-back firings, all taking place in almost the same load, almost all of them having the same thing of, hey, great, happy birthday, thanks for being here, you're fired, get out.
Sorry, we don't know what we saw in you.
Yeah, all of that was probably...
Oh,
yeah.
I know what I think the worst storyline of 2021 is. I want to amend my worst storyline of 2021.
All right.
The chasing of the sword. Drew McIntyre's sword getting stolen.
Or how about
the crown?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so...
basically, any storyline that the WWE had that did not involve our tribal chief Roman Reigns is probably the worst storyline of the year because they damn sure made sure to make it the worst.
All right, so we're gonna... That's our best of and worst of, and if something sparks our brilliance...
Yeah, if you saw something or if you missed something, if you like some of our listings or anything, give us a shout, let us know what you think. What was your best and worst of 2021?
So this is how we're going to sell out the rest of the year as far as the storylines and the current companies right now.
Also, I'm going to add Cody and Andrade Charlotte Flair nutsack to worst match 2021 real quick.
Okay.
That's trash.
All right, so now we're going to talk about the stories that are going on in the companies.
We spent a lot of time on our best and worst of kind of segment here because I honestly thought we were going to spend 45 minutes talking about how much we both hated this week's Raw.
So,
how much devotion can we give to Raw in... Wait, hold on, let me rephrase that.
We have an hour and 10 minutes.
How much hatred can we spew in 6 minutes on Raw?
Well, the cool thing is we're not going to talk about Raw yet. We're going to go with the other companies first.
Fucker!
We do this! We do it in order every week.
But Raw happens first!
But I want to get the good stuff before
we should end with the good stuff!
Fine, you know what? We'll go with the bad stuff, and then we'll go to the good stuff.
Yes, you end on a high note. Do you not watch wrestling?
That's why you have your final...
You're fencing it.
That's why you get the final thought, is so we can end on a high note.
Yeah, well, segments. We need to... If we're going to be Vince and Raw, we need to focus on our segments.
Look, I'm trying to do the best I can with the booking I have.
Oh, my God.
You've gotten rid of all the talent.
Look, I just don't see it in you right now. You know, we're going a different direction.
Are you going to future endeavor me?
Good luck in your future endeavors. Yes. All right.
This is the last episode of Powerbomb Weekly you'll ever see.
As we close out the year, Powerbomb Weekly ends. Yes.
All right, so Raw, storyline. First storyline, bullet point.
You
Why?
Don't have any... So, here's the thing. I said about, a month or more ago, maybe it was 2 months
I'm just going to look at you this whole time right now.
I said probably, about 2 months ago, that in the history of 2,000 plus episodes of Raw, after almost 25 plus years of Raw, I've probably seen about half. Mm-hmm. I'll say if they've had 2,000 shows, I've at least seen 1,000 Raws, right?
Yep.
Okay. And I said about 2 months ago, this was one of the worst Raws in memory that I could ever remember seeing. I think the only thing that tops that Raw was the one from the UK where they had Kozlov and Santino with Tea Time and the dance-off, and that was the one where R-Truth started, actually being crazy and all this other crap. That was a terrible Raw. This was probably one of the worst Raws I've ever seen in my life.
And you know what the good thing about it being the worst Raw? It's the least watched Raw of the year.
It's the second. It's the second.
We're going to do ratings.
The previous week's Raw was the worst posted Raw that they've had in the history of the company. This one was better than that one by 0.3%. This was a horrible show. I need you to tell me, because I don't know if you looked it up, is this another Vince threw the script away 20 minutes before they went to air show?
I couldn't find it.
Because that's what this screamed. And the last time we talked about this being a terrible Raw was also Vince trashed the script.
The thing is, this could have been an amazing Raw if done correctly.
This was awful. So to start Raw, we have Bobby Lashley come out and explain why he has decided to interject himself in the thing, which makes sense because
the only thing that makes sense.
The problem with that is the heels making sense. We've talked about this before. I swear Vince Russo is actually writing the show. This show was as bad as the bad TNA shows. It wasn't as bad as the Nitro 2000 shows, but it was definitely as bad as a bad TNA show because Bobby Lashley, the heel, has legitimate points. I lost my title due to a BS contract signage cash-in thing. I haven't gotten my rematch, really, in a...
Stop flipping off our fans.
Our one fan. I haven't gotten any of this, and basically, again, the heel making good points is not usually good. Even though I know Bobby should not be whiny, but he should not also have legitimate points.
And it was crazy that he was the one saying it, not his manager.
Yes. And also, the announce team, both, one, we've talked about Corey Graves being terrible, and the fact that he just does whatever he wants to do. But also, the other people of the announce team, especially I don't know what the hell Byron Saxton's there for other than to smile and nod, as we joke about. But the new guy, who is a good play-by-play analysis, who Corey Graves is obviously having an issue with because he tries to run him over with things, is agreeing that Bobby Lashley is making good points. Owens comes down, and I have no clue what the fuck Kevin Owens was talking about. He was just screaming on the microphone. He himself at one point said, I don't know what we're talking about. Because I guarantee you Vince threw the script out. If there was a script, as it were. I guarantee you Vince redid the whole direction of the show. Seth Rollins comes out, and he's screaming and arguing. And then him and Owens are screaming and arguing with each other. And then him and Owens and Rollins are screaming and arguing with MVP. And then Owens and Rollins start agreeing with each other while screaming at MVP. Do you see where we're at? And I'm watching this show, and my wife is there, and she's just like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, this is bad. So then they decide, hey, you know what? Bobby Lashley will get a chance to be in the match. If Bobby Lashley, God Almighty himself, heel Bobby Lashley, can beat 3 people in the same night.
Now,
including the champion.
So, pause. When all 4 people were down there, because you had Big E, Bobby, and the Owens and Lashley. So I was like, oh, okay, so it looks like Lashley's becoming a face now, which doesn't make sense, but okay.
He's a horrible face.
He is. But okay, we'll go with that because we have too many heels on Raw now, again, because they keep breaking this problem. So my first thought was like, oh, hey, Dad, check it out. We're going to have a tag team match. It's going to be Owen. It's going to be Big E and Bobby versus Seth. That's how we're going to do it. But whoa, we surprised because that was maybe in the original script.
Will I say it's surprising or just god dang awful that they gave Bobby Lashley 3 matches in the same night against your top 3 contenders who are going to be in the pay-per-view, including having to beat the champion.
Now, this could have worked if it was a progression of 3 weeks. You got to do it this night.
We don't have 3 weeks to the show.
Exactly. You should have started this 3 weeks ago.
Wait. We do!
Yeah, I know.
There would have been 3 weeks to the show. Because this happened on Monday, we have tonight, and then we have next week.
Yeah. And then you have...
Then you have the pay-per-view.
Right. So it would have made sense to build an anticipation of long-form storytelling.
This got worse. Okay.
You could have had greatness with this. Could you have not?
I didn't realize they actually had 3 weeks to the show.
But would it not have been at least...
I'm agreeing. We don't have to go any further. We are already past the point of stupidity at this. This is awful.
That could have been good.
And it could have. And on top of that, if their idea would have been to flip Bobby into a new face, 3 weeks of him fighting back instead of one single night. It works when the guy is the babyface. The babyface has to overcome the odds. The fighting heel does not.
That's why they call it babyface in peril.
I wish we had a flow sheet of matches that we could break. I don't want to say break down the matches, but we could have shown the progression more of the show.
Oh, I can pull it up. I can pull it up here for you.
Fuck it. No. Because I was so angry at the show, and I'm going to just jump a little bit ahead and talk about...
We're going to do it.
Something.
We're going to do it.
Okay. All right. So, we're going to give you guys a pause for a second.
No, just keep talking.
He wants me to keep talking about things. I have lost a complete train of thought because I was on one direction and we are now going into a different direction. And because of that, I was not prepared for Joey to go off script at this point. He's Vince McMahoning it. He tore the script up. He threw it out in the middle of the show and has decided that he's going to rebook this shit. And I don't know what's going to happen. I'm expecting God Almighty to come down and cut the chair out from under me and me to fall and get pinned 1, 2, 3 by Joey. And that's how we're going to end the year at this point. Where we at, yo? All right, boom. Here we go. This is, yep, this is what's up. Okay.
This is Monday Night Raw. So, you can't see it very well, sorry.
That's fine. Just listen to me, just right here, people. I want you right here at Eyeline, all right? So, I'm going to talk directly to the camera because you people need to understand exactly what had happened here at this point to describe how freaking bad this show was, all right? So, Otis and the Alpha Academy, the fat, dumpy, dumb bastard who couldn't put his nuts in Mandy Rose's mouth,
stop,
beats Riddle decisively. Why? Why is Riddle unable to do anything? They had a promo with him and Orton. It was probably a good thing, okay? Also, I do want to just jump back a little bit. I hate Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce more than anything in the world. Mm-hmm. I hate them so much. They are the most inconsistent thing across the entire show. The entire company. They are the most inconsistent characters. They are evil, and then they're good, and then they're heels, and then they're squirmy, slimy, and then they're cowards, and then they buck up and threaten people. And it makes no sense at all what they are. Bianca Belair defeated Doudrop.
In 10 minutes.
This was not the worst thing.
This was the best match of the night.
Probably so. Bobby Lashley defeats Ken Owens by submission because they have a legitimate match up until Owens does the thing that he should have done to just start the match, which is what he did at Survivor Series, and just walk out. No. They had to have a match. It only went 4 minutes and 34 seconds, and it felt like it went on forever. Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode against Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Finn Balor's dead. I just said he was one of the top male performers of 2021, and he is dead.
And if you remember on my question, the breakdown, it said, did we just kill Finn Balor?
Yes, did we just kill Finn Balor? He's dead. He's gone. He is future endeavored because of contract budgetary reasons. Hope to see you with your pals in AEW. Damian Priest, who gives a shit? Apparently, since you don't have Bad Bunny with you, the WWE doesn't know what to do with you. Also, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode beat Finn Balor and Damian Priest.
Because?
Via pin. I don't care.
Because Austin Aries got to take a picture with Finn Balor.
Now, I have this is the this is where we're at.
Queen Barb versus Queen Zelina.
So Rhea Ripley, who very recently had an article written about her where someone said that she could essentially be the female Hulk Hogan, and I agree with that. What I mean by that is her personality, her uniqueness, her look, her performance, her dynamic ability to perform. Everything about Rhea Ripley screams superstar.
Not her win-loss record.
Since she has gotten on the main roster, everything about her is just taking a gigantic shit. And I hope that maybe since someone found her title belt on eBay, that maybe she'll be out of the doghouse. Because Queen Zelina beat her in 49 seconds via a roll-up.
Because?
Now, wait. I have to tell the story because my wife has been waiting for this because she says, after the fact, she goes, well, I can't wait till Sunday for the show. I've watched wrestling for
I'm going to go ahead and
while.
seatbelt myself in real quick.
I've watched wrestling for a while. You've watched wrestling for a while,
I
right?
have most of my
This
life.
match fired off. I said, why? I thought we were done with Ripley and Nikki Ash. And I thought for certain Nikki Ash and the goofballs of Carmella and Zelina Vega had been relegated to over here. And Rhea Ripley was being moved over here.
See, but what you didn't read was the article that came out where Rhea Ripley said, and I quote, "I don't understand why Nikki Ash is not on the pay-per-view. She should have been there. She's a great talent."
Whatever.
Remember, she beat Charlotte Flair.
Remember,
Nikki Ash. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry.
Remember,
Nikki Cross beat Charlotte
Nikki
Flair.
Ash beat...
No, she was not.
Oh wait, no, that's right. Nikki Cross beat Charlotte Flair and then became Nikki Ash. Anyway,
And Nikki Ash became
we're not there.
ass.
We're here, right here in this moment. Okay. This is what happens. She gets in the ring, and first off, Zelina Vega, as I have pointed out before, why does everyone go insane and think that they're British whenever they win King of the Ring? Because now that she is the Queen of the Ring, she is British.
All hail her Britishness.
So, they get in the ring, and it starts off with Ripley just waylays that ass. And I go, good! As it should be.
This makes sense.
And then Carmella jumps up. Corey Graves on the microphone at ringside, on commentary, talking about how much he enjoys sex with Carmella is
Distracting.
so annoying. Because it's so meta. Now, as soon as she jumped up, I looked at my wife and I said, if she beats her with a fucking roll-up, I'm going to be pissed. Because as soon as Ripley faced one way and Zelina Vega came around the other way, I immediately was like, she's going to beat her to a roll-up. And sure enough,
That's what happened.
roll-up, Zelina Vega defeats Rhea Ripley in 49 seconds, 1, 2, 3. And I jumped up from the couch, and I can only equate this to,
You still had half a show to go.
we're just going to skip really fast here in a second.
No, I'm just saying that when you got up and ran away, you still had half a show to go.
Well, I jumped up from the couch, and my wife saw a look on my face, and I was like, it took everything in me to not kick a hole in the wall. I was so mad at this. I was already so irritated by this show, by all of the constant bickering, the bitching between all... I don't understand why. This is why I said it reminded me of Vince Russo TNA. Everyone just bitched at each other the entire show. Nothing made sense. No one had any legitimacy except for the heels! And then your superstars get squashed in a minute. And 3 minutes and 4 minutes. And I was so mad. I turned the show off. I paced. I walked around. I came back to it later and finished the show. Seth Rollins defeats Bobby Lashley via DQ.
Because
they actually
made sense.
made sense. Now, why we had to have a long form angle of this, I don't understand. But this is what happens. This is why I got back on the angry train after this. Ken comes down. He beats up Seth. Seth gets pissed off and jumps out. The referee says the winner of this match via disqualification is Seth Rollins. And Bobby Lashley's like, yay! And Seth is like, what the hell is your problem? And then they go, oh! I won. Bobby lost. Bobby's out of the match. And I went, okay. And then here come our two favorite bumbling, just, I almost said a bad word there. Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce come out. And they go,
Oh.
No, Kevin. You
Not
think
like
you're
that.
smart. It's not going to happen like that. We're going to restart this match. And it's going to be a no disqualification match. Now, when that happened, I went, okay. I'm checked out, but okay. Now, what didn't happen that I thought should happen if they were going to do something to build Bobby Lashley up, have both guys run down there and Bobby destroy both guys. Or B, both guys run down there and they destroy Bobby for a long form, and then he manages to triumph and overcome them, thus continuing the Bobby Lashley turning into a face storyline that I thought they were booked.
Face
nope.
affair.
Bobby Lashley grabs a hold of Seth Rollins and beats him 1, 2, 3, 20 seconds later.
What you
I
have to
stopped.
remember,
I got up. I walked around for a couple minutes, went and got a drink, came back, unpaused the show.
because you still got one more match with Bobby Lashley in it.
Bobby Lashley fights Big E.
The champion.
And they also feel the need to come out and say, this match will also be no disqualification. And I thought, well, okay. Maybe in this match we're going to get the Anakin Skywalker moment. The boys are going to come down and they're going to beat up Bobby. And Bobby and Big E are going to have a great cutthroat match that's almost at the verge. And then, the guys are going to come down, beat them up, as I said. And then Big E is going to pull one of them off of Bobby. They're going to have their thing. They beat him up, but Bobby still has to win the match. And as soon as Big E throws the last guy out, he spears Big E, pins him 1, 2, 3. They win everything. Nope.
You were half right.
I was half right.
Half of that happened.
Joseph, please tell me how this match ended so that way I can relive this.
I don't remember. I mean, all the things that you said happened. They bought Big E and Bobby did tag team together for a few minutes in this match. Like
they just decided, what they did is they decided to give away the ending. Well, not the ending. They decided to tease what the pay-per-view is going to look like, and it did not look good. Okay? Now, there's one other thing that took place in this that was a segment that was the only thing that was good, in my opinion, was Becky Lynch made, again, sadly, the heel, made valid points. I don't understand why you're booing me. I don't really care that you're booing me. I don't understand why you think this or think that. I don't understand why people think that I took money away out of people's mouths. I'm trying to put food in the mouth of my daughter.
I'm married to the sexiest man on Raw.
Liv Morgan's an almost, but not going to be, because right now I'm the champion. Liv Morgan came out and cut a decent promo.
We're going to go back to...
That was okay. And then Liv gets her arm stuck in the side of the ring, and Becky kicks her arm a couple times, and they say Liv Morgan has a deep bone bruise. And in the middle of all of this, they already go ahead and tell us that they've rebooked the match for day one. They didn't even let the angle play out. In the middle of their stuff, they said that they had already rebooked them for day one. So nothing that happened in this actually mattered.
So I wrote, is Liv really hurt physically? I mean,
no. Because in the middle of the angle, in the middle of all of the storyline, they had already told us it had been rebooked for day one. So unless they are going to false book it, which at this point, I do not think that they are not willing to not do anymore, is to false book a match, i.e. see Sasha Banks versus Bianca, i.e. see, well, really anything that's happened in the last year from the WWE. Raw was one of the worst shows I've ever seen.
Now, do you think it would have helped if they would have played these out over 3 weeks? To similar, if not better, similar. If they were if the matches happened exactly as they happened, but it took 3 weeks to get there.
Are we still talking about the Bobby thing?
Yes.
Then maybe.
Even if they
I mean, yes. Yes, it could have been, because no, it wouldn't have. And I'll tell you why it wouldn't have, okay? Because it all goes back to my earlier statement of Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce being the worst.
Okay. So
hold on.
Go ahead.
I do want to elaborate just a minute.
Oh, sure. We have plenty of time.
The reason for that is the inconsistencies between them.
Oh, I agree.
And the reason I say that is because they are heels doing heel stuff. Sometimes. I look at it like this. Because they've said things before. they've said real world outside things, and like this will draw money. Oh, this will put stuff in, okay?
Right.
If you have Bobby Lashley come out and make legitimate complaints as to why he's not champion, and you've already added someone else to the show for the match, why have any of it at all? For them to say, I mean, it would have stacked the deck better against Big E to just say, okay, Bobby, you wanted the match? Sure. You know what sounds good to us? Bobby Lashley's on the marquee. Bobby Lashley's a name. He draws money. He's a former champion. He did not get his just due in the rematch.
When they said when they said all the, Bobby, you're making good points.
And the thing with that is I know I probably would have been upset because they would have done it wrong. Mm. And I'm saying that as a viewer, they would have done it wrong, and I probably would have been like, oh my God, Bobby just gets added to the match. But it was better than what we got, because what we got was so inconsistent. But if Sonya and Adam are new heelish characters, it would have made sense for them to set back and go, or have, because there's a problem that goes back to, and I believe it was on the previous week's SmackDown, okay? Drew, that's what it was. It was Drew and the sword, where he said these words, and this is how I know. I swear I know Vince Russo's back writing for them. He goes, you can't take the sword to the ring tonight. Well, who said that? And Adam Pearce goes, a higher power.
Right. The same higher power that took him out of the match.
Drew McIntyre is now fighting the higher power. The higher power.
Did the higher power cut the rope?
Maybe.
And that's why he...
If it is, it'll be the most long-form, brilliant story they've told of the higher power, but a higher power. Vince McMahon as the higher power. TNA and the network as the higher power. Hi, Vince. Vinny Rue back writing wrestling
1,
again.
2,
Yay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There was only 17 wrestlers on Raw in a 3-hour show. And
they were all booked wrong.
Because the other wrestler that showed up on the match that we're not talking about was the now that Dana Brooke has the 24/7 champs, Reggie's trying to get in her pants and keeping her safe from Tamina, because Tamina's chasing the belt. All right, moving on.
Get rid of it. Okay.
Moving on to NXT. I wrote, who cares?
They have decided that Grayson Waller is now the new super heel of the show. I don't think he's there yet.
Oh no, they gave.
Also, they gave him Austin Theory's old gimmick, which is currently Austin Theory's gimmick, where he's all about cell phone and footage and viewers and all things like that. Austin's all about selfies and posting on Twitter. So apparently they have to have an Austin Theory on the show. The only two things was Pete Dunne's promo.
Mm-hmm. Who's now a face.
Who's basically now... Well, yeah, because anybody who was Black and Gold OG is a face, and anybody who's 2.0 is a heel for the most part.
Right.
There's so many failures of this 2.0 class that I hate. I wish, and I just now thought of it, I really wish I would have sent you for us to do some research, and maybe we'll do that on our first of the year show back of WWE nil.
Oh,
next in line.
Because we forgot on Raw we got the first look at our
nil.
No,
people.
Raw we got the first look at our draft pick gold medal winner, who I swore was going to get involved in the match, but sat there and did nothing except
just high-fived Bobby Lashley. Also,
because that would have made sense for him to get involved.
What happened to the Hurt Business? Didn't they just reform?
They did.
And then what happened?
Cedric wanted to go home and spend time with his family.
Where's Shelton?
With his family.
Why wouldn't Bobby Lashley, if Bobby Lashley and Gabe and MVP are cool, why wouldn't Why wouldn't they just reform the Hurt Business with Gabe? Or Gable Stevenson.
Or why wouldn't the Hurt Business help him from being in a no disqualification match?
Why wouldn't the Hurt Business come down and help him beat these guys so he automatically goes to the pay-per-view?
Because he's a face. Not a heel. I don't know. Anyway, back to NXT.
So yes, the only other thing is they had Braun Breaker in the main event against Roddy Strong, and that was a damn good match. Every other match on the show was awful, except for maybe Boa versus the other guy.
Oh, the other Boa.
Well, no,
yeah, I know. He's the other crazy looking.
Zion Quinn is horrible now. He had a terrible backstage promo and made no sense. Dakota Kai had a match where she fucked up that kick again.
Oh, that's right.
Jesse,
but no.
Yeah, I don't. The only thing,
we have to talk about Mini Brock. It was in your notes. You wanted to talk about.
They debuted Mini Brock.
Well, we can't call him that anymore.
Parker Bordeaux.
Safe space guy.
What's his name? Hanson?
No, not Hannibal.
We can't talk about that. What's this fucker's name? Harlan debuts. And he beats up their indie talent. Their Hindi talent, I guess I should say, because I think the dude's one of their Pakistani India talents that they hired. What was it, Jeet Rama?
Yeah.
Was it Jeet Rama he destroyed?
Yeah.
This is why we have flow sheets. But yes, anyway.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Is Harlan, what we see with Harlan now, is that where you thought Dexter Lumis was going to go?
Dead on arrival is what he is. He wins the match by beating up a guy while Joe Gacy stands in the corner and jerks off. Like, literally. He's like...
You liked it when Scarlett sat on the speaker.
Yeah, but you know what?
But is that
if Joe Gacy was a handsomer man, I would have been okay with it. But no, it made no sense. He's also the thing is that I don't know. If it's a cult, then make it a cult. Just have him be a cult leader. But don't make him an evil version of the Democrats.
Well,
maybe not. I can't say the Democrats. The liberals. He's an evil liberal. That's all it is.
Yes, this is true.
Then Harlan is a psychopath. Harlan then throws a trainer down a set of stairs onto a crash pad, and they say he has a severed cervical spinal injury, and I'm like, that means he's fucking paralyzed.
Do you feel better? Are you in your safe space now? No? Then go do some more damage.
Oh my god. They killed Harlan. They killed him dead.
But is that where you thought Dexter Lumis was going?
No.
Okay, good.
This is where Festus and other things were. This is so bad. Anyway, go watch Braun Breaker and Roddy Strong. I don't understand why Malcolm Bivens can talk and then sometimes he can't.
Well, she had a match too, didn't she?
Yeah, the girl had a match
against another.
It was all right.
The indie talent.
It was all right. She did some stuff. She did Scott Steiner stuff basically. She did push-ups on the girl, and as Scott Steiner would say, she did curls for the girls.
And I don't. So one of the people that was on my breakout list that he would have been number 4 for me was Kushida. I've loved Kushida since him and He Who Shall Not Be Named from New Japan and Ospreay had their matches.
Yeah.
And him with Jiro is a travesty to...
They have matching outfits now.
It's a travesty.
Yeah.
Dad won't even watch NXT anymore.
Apparently, he's not alone because how many 100,000 viewers have they lost?
So we're going to start off with ratings in the new year. How December ended out.
So bad. It's so bad. You know what? Fuck this show.
Dad would watch Ring of Honor. He'd watch Florida Championship Wrestling. He will not watch NXT now.
You mean he's not excited by seeing Mandy Rose's ass hanging out, because that's all the show's built around is Mandy Rose and Gigi and
It's still
what's
not
her
enough for
name
him.
just being.
Still not enough for him. He wants wrestling content.
Oh man, then Andre. You mean he didn't enjoy Andre Chase versus
Anyone?
who was the other guy? Who was the other dumb fuck in the match?
After the second Rainbow show
Yeah.
or Neon show or whatever they're calling it, he was like, "I'm done. I don't want to watch anymore."
There you go. You killed a viewer.
Absolutely killed it. All right, so SmackDown. Both of us have no idea what happened because neither one of us have watched it yet.
We went and saw Spider-Man. Brock.
I did.
Brock F5 Roman, I think.
I literally watched Spider-Man that night.
Yep.
And-
Moving on.
All right, so we're ending on a high note, I guess, but
Yeah.
not so high.
See? You see?
But not so high. So Cody's a joke again, apparently, as you wanted to talk about.
I just want to skip through that, honestly, because I shot my wad on Raw. But
Right.
basically, Cody has no direction. He has no direction at all whatsoever, and they hotshot Cody through everything. He also has to be. He's almost Jericho bad of being involved in everything.
Especially since said he wasn't going to.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
And Dad says Dad's comments like, "Well, it's good for the show,
no.
his show."
I mean, I guess it's good for his TV show, but if the question is the relationship strained that Cody has enough control that he can do whatever he wants in the show, and this is what he wants to do, or is this what they're feeding Cody to do because the relationship is not estranged, and this is what they think Cody should be doing? Either way, Cody has no direction on the show. He's Jericho by being involved in everything and nothing at the same time. But he is almost WWE booking bad of the inconsistencies of what's going on with him. Okay. And the fact that he also did just have a team-up fight match with the guy he's supposed to... This is just WWE booking. It's bad.
All right, so I'm going to skip my second bullet point because I'm going to explain that in a minute. So Brody King is coming.
Okay.
Brody King was apparently Malachi's tag team partner in all of the indies.
Okay.
And he...
Oh, shit, the big tattooed guy. Yes.
And he's just recently been let go by Ring of Honor.
Yes, that's right.
And when they did the promo of the very satanic looking thing, and he said, "Arise, because you're so much more than a king."
Yeah.
So that's who is going to be...
I like Brody King. Yes,
all right, so let's talk about...
For some reason, because they're doing the Brody tribute, I was like, are they having another Brody debut? Okay,
no, Brody King.
Brody King. Okay, yeah.
So... this should be some good conversation. This is some comic why we started this show.
Well, hold on. I do also want to comment about one other thing with AEW. They've made me hate Adam Cole.
Interesting.
The Orange Cassidy 3-way match with all of that, with the goofs and the jokes and all of that. That is AEW at its worst a year ago, and it's just them entertaining themselves. And I really hate the fact that they've completely... They have wasted Adam Cole the same way that WWE would waste someone, where they stuck him with his buddies to give a hoo-ha to the audience, and they are stuck in a floundering position.
My hope is that...
They are drowning.
My hope is that in a month or two, a couple months... So here's smart booking, all right? We're gonna play our if we could book the shit again, like we used to.
Now the question is does Joey have a good memory? Is Joey going to remember something, or is Joey just ripping off from me? You go.
Okay, maybe this was something that you said, and this is why I'm thinking it. You may have said this already, and I apologize if you did, and I'm rehashing it. But
you're good. It means I'm a genius.
So we know that Kyle's on his way because that's. Already, they made the comment, "Oh, this gift will come to you later."
Yeah.
So we know Kyle's on the way.
Yeah.
So Red Dragon will be back.
Also, we do want to just talk about that for one brief second. WWE feels that either Kyle or Johnny will return, one of the two, and then everybody else thinks that either one of the two is going to AEW. Let's see which one it is.
Johnny has stated specifically.
He's taking time off for his family.
You're going to know nothing until after March or April because I'm going to enjoy my child.
Yes.
I deserve it.
Fine. But yes, essentially they're thinking one of the two is coming back and one of the two is going to AEW. We don't know where that's.
So Kyle's coming to AEW.
Yeah, we think Kyle is definitely coming to AEW.
Now we know Roddy's got a little more time on his contract.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Well, Roddy just re-signed.
Did he resign?
I think Roddy just re-signed like a couple months back.
Okay. So, as Dad likes to call the Ring of Honor boys.
Yes.
So, I feel that by April or May of 2022, there's going to be a division in the clique, in the elite. And there's going to be maybe an Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Roddy, maybe a Balor, maybe, obviously not Roddy because he re-signed, or maybe a Gresham or a Lethal, I don't know, somebody else from Ring of Honor.
Okay.
They're going to be like, we really don't like you as much as you think. And now we're going to have an implosion of that. And like, yeah, we did the stupid crap because it's what got us in the door, and now we want it all.
Okay.
And now, much like it's happened in the past with the Bullet Club implodes and that, I think there's going to be an explosion where it's all going to separate, and it's not the super clique will be broken up.
So,
especially about the time that Kenny Omega comes back.
My booking was, now granted, much like the WWE, my foresight of, oh my God, they're going to fire all these people. And they're going to give AEW free, I can't say free, because God knows what his checkbook looks like in realistic terms, but I did not think that they would give AEW all of the talent that was making their own shows that successful. Right. And for them to have it come out that they had no ideas, no nothing. Adam Cole Bebe was going to be Keith Lee's mouthpiece for both of them to end up out of the company. So, with that, I did not see that far down the line of that happening. But, because I didn't think Bobby Fish, I didn't think they'd let Kyle O'Reilly out. Maybe Bobby Fish I could have seen, but I figured they would have retained him as a trainer.
Right.
And if he didn't want to do that, that's fine, but I didn't think he would end up in AEW, honestly.
No.
I didn't, and in a featured area. But the thing with that is, what I said was, they had a great setup of Kenny saying, I'm going to go away, I'm going to leave it to you. And Adam Cole going, yeah, I got this. And him going, well, I wasn't talking to you. I was like, ooh, that's a good seed. That's a good seed to plant. And then Adam Cole does his things, and then you had Kenny come back who could turn into a face. Hey guys, I'm back. Hey, great to be here, blah, blah, blah. All right, awesome. Let's get back to business. Maybe like a week or two of them trying to get back to business and being like, Kenny, we got this. Oh, Kenny, I'm not talking to you. Oh, Kenny, now I got it. And then super kick. Adam Cole. I'll even go with a triple super kick from the Bucks and Adam Cole to Kenny Omega to put him out so he gets out of his heel and into babyface mode, which I think would have been good. Now seeing that they're going to give them all of the Ring of Honor people from every company, the only people they need to solidify this is, the only people they need for the Bullet Club at this point is what? Finn and AJ?
Mm-hmm.
And could you imagine if they had Finn and AJ at this point?
They're not going to get AJ.
They're probably, I think AJ's locked under a 10-year.
Right.
I don't know what Finn's looks like.
No, nobody does. But it doesn't matter what you got because anything can happen.
I mean, they budgetary cuts. There you go. We're going to downside pay you $200,000 so we don't have to pay you $2 million.
But I do think Kevin Owens made a good decision.
Financially, yeah. But apparently AEW made him a lucrative offer. I guess they just gave him something better, which, yeah. But that would have been my booking. Now, moving on to what is the match of the night, the match of the show, the match of the week, possibly the match of the year.
Nope.
Adam Page versus Brian Danielson. You're saying it was a disappointment.
Extreme disappointment.
Why?
I would have done things so much different.
Why do you say that? Because I thought this was a great contest. It was very
Did you watch
hard
it?
hitting.
Did you watch it on TV or did you watch it online?
I watched it
Did you watch
entirely online.
Did you watch it with or without commercials?
I did not have commercials.
Okay, so there's the first part.
Because, well, technically it does have commercials because they do break and then come back. So, yeah, I mean, I don't have to sit through the commercial.
Right.
Let me
Well, we fast forward through them too.
let me dogtail that a little bit down.
Right.
I don't have to watch this.
So they come out and they go. So I've been watching wrestling long enough, maybe not, but I saw this coming in the first 5 minutes. So they came out and said the song contest has got a time limit of 60 minutes, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, well, championship match, 60 minutes, that's not a problem. Not a problem. Not a problem. Not a problem.
Okay.
They do make those announcements on AEW.
Yes.
It's not like only when you need to know it.
As-
They do make those announcements.
As the other people do, yes.
Okay. And I know that AEW does the first 20 minutes of wrestling commercial free. That's why MJF can do his promos. That's why That's why CM Punk always comes out first. And I'm like, oh, they're starting this match. My first thought was they're starting this match first. They're gonna no commercials because they know 20 minutes. And I go, this makes sense because this is you're giving away the best match on free. Blah blah blah.
Which we talked about.
Commercials gonna break it up, and I'm like, this is the best thing you could do. Okay, awesome. And then I went on to tell Dad about the whole giving it away for free and where you're going to go from there. That I taught him the things that we had talked about. But I'm like, okay, this is awesome. We're 10 minutes into the 20 minutes of commercial free, and they've touched each other like 4 times. And I looked at Dad. I looked at Dad within 10 minutes of the match. I go, this match is going all 60 minutes with no contest. He goes, why do you say that? I go, the pacing. They have paced each other to a point where this match is going nowhere. And the last 15 minutes of the match are going to be amazing. And then it's not going to be enough. And he goes, I don't think you got... I think that... Now, well, who do you think's going to win? I don't know. I don't either. That's the beauty of this. I go, and they don't know either. Because this... With Kenny Omega and Daniel Bryan, they had 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. And they used all 30 minutes amazingly. Immediately. But the fact that they started this match and drew it out. You know, he did the heel thing. Oh, no, you can't hit me. Oh, no, you can't hit me. And then they did wrist lock. And they did arm lock. And then they did wrist lock. And then he went out to the floor and he walked around. And I'm like, we're 20 minutes into this match and nothing's happened. There's not been a hard throw yet. There's barely been a hip toss. So I was like, this match is going all 60 minutes. And it's either going to win with like 5 seconds left or it's not going to go at all. And then when you're down to the 5-minute mark or when you're down to 1 minute and one of the wrestlers is on the floor with 1 minute left in the match, I'm like, this match is going to go all 60. Now, I didn't like the match, or didn't enjoy the match, probably because I saw the ending happening. It's like, if I would have, and I'm not doing it here, but if I would have known half of the spoilers that happen in Spider-Man, I would have enjoyed the movie, but I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much because they wouldn't have surprised me when they happened. I saw this coming. It was like, I just read all the spoilers in the first 15 minutes of this match. And because of that, and because of where some of those breaks happened, which, you know, you didn't have to deal with, but in watching him cut himself during a commercial break, and watching the doc look over him during all 3 minutes of the commercial break, and then when they came back from commercials going, okay, you can get back in the ring now. Now, the entertainment part, I don't know if you got to see this, because I don't know if they did the picture-in-picture, but watching Daniel Bryan, or Brian Danielson do jumping jacks and push-ups in the ring while he is waiting for the doc to clear him to come back in the ring, or, i.e., waiting for the commercial to come back in, it was just like, Why? The last 20 minutes of the match told an amazing story that I did not legitimately know who was going to win. And the way that Paige would have won in those last 20 minutes would have been amazing. And I would have been okay with Paige beating him that way. But I was like, I saw it happen. So I couldn't enjoy the end.
I mean, okay, I can get a little bit behind that on that section, but I think I have to disagree. I think you're tainted because of how you had the commercials play out.
Maybe.
I could see in your pausing of descripting the match down where, and remembering the match and where I go to black to back to action of how they play out the commercials where I watch, but I could see where you have that at. All right. The thing with this, though, is why I say this was so good was because I did not see it coming. I'm on the other side of it.
Wow.
Because I legitimately thought...
I thought you were going to crap all over that. I thought you were going to be like...
No,
doubling down my thoughts. I'm surprised.
I am actually on the reverse of this. I liked the slow pacing. I like that we did not start, out of the cannon. Like the Omega Danielson match. I like that they had a slow Japanese style. No, hold on. Mm-hmm. They had a slow Japanese style. Work a leg, work an arm, work a hold, build, build, build. I thought the match built very well. The commercial breaks aside from what you got and everything, I could see where that would have slowed and misplaced some of the pacing of the match, I should say. But once they got to the ending, I will echo your statement of, I thought that was a great ending because it ends with a great place to come back to of the no contest. And I know people were in the crowd chanting bullshit, but
they were chanting 5 more minutes.
Yeah, I mean, they were chanting bullshit and 5 more minutes and other things. Yes. But I like that they did not have the SummerSlam, Tony Khan come out and say, give him 5 more minutes. Right. I like that it ended. I like the era finality. And I also especially liked it was not Brian on the verge of winning and the time ran out. Mm-hmm. It was Paige on the verge of winning when time come out. Because he jumped in, he did the shotgun lariat.
Got the second buckshot off.
Got the buckshot off. And then he was going for it. And that's when the time ran out. So while he had a great defense, and he was clearly on the verge of winning it when the time ran out, but it gave them a great place to come back to because, one, Brian could say, they could say, you couldn't get the job done in 30, we gave you 60 and you still couldn't get the job done. Danielson can easily say, I didn't beat you, but you clearly couldn't have beat me. Paige can say, I could have beat you, I was 3 seconds away, and there was a lot to come back to with this, I thought.
So
I understand your criticism in a way, but I counter some of the points that you have with the things I liked about the match.
Now,
which is funny that it's
this is the opposite.
Yeah.
Now, I do remember because I do pay attention to you sometimes. When we would talk and the whole again the seeds of this show, you used to tell me that, and I don't know if you've ever figured it out, that the greatest wrestling match you ever saw was with Daniel Bryan. You couldn't remember.
No.
You couldn't remember who it was.
No, the greatest wrestling match I have ever seen is on a show Daniel Bryan was on.
Okay, that's what it was.
As American Dragon.
You can't remember.
I can't remember the freaking match and who was in it, though.
But you said it was a 60-minute match. It started off slow. It built and it built and it built and it built and it built.
It's just, I get, not to rehash very quickly, but if anybody out there in TV land can help me, I know Daniel Bryan's on the show. Or at least whoever was showing the tape on the internet at the time. I was waiting for Shane Helm's podcast to come on, if you guys remember that show. But it was, I think it was JTV or something. But whatever stream I watched it on, they would play wrestling tapes. And they had stuff set in place before the show came on. and there was Daniel Bryan match, and then they had this match. And this match was glorious. It was two Asian guys, and basically it was supposed to be the old school and the new school fighting each other, and I swore it was Okada for the longest time.
Anyway.
But I don't think it is. But that match just paces and builds and changes direction so many times that I could never look at that match and say I knew who would win.
Right. Now, the other part of this match that soured it for me a little bit was now we have two Daniel Bryan matches that went the limit.
Yeah.
Is that going to be his now?
No.
Maybe it's the bitterness. They're like, oh well, this is what they're always going to do with him now.
Also, it's not two. He's had what 5 matches so far?
Right.
6.
Two
and
of
he has destroyed everybody except for
the two champions.
The two champions. Now, granted, I think that makes AEW look good because the WWE guy did not come in and take the belt off of either one of them immediately.
Okay.
He wasn't going to take the belt. He wasn't going to take the belt off of Omega because Omega was to transition to Page. And truthfully, even though we talked greatness about it, Adam Page is not a superstar yet. And I'm not using the WWE terms for it.
No, I know you know.
I'm saying Adam Page is not that echelon upper level. Physically, obviously, match quality-wise, he is. But I'm saying him as an introduction to the wrestling character world. Mm-hmm. Because he was gone for so long of 2020 into 2021, where he had the alcohol problems, he had the pregnancy, he had the birth.
Right, it was all that was all. The alcohol problem was storyline.
Yeah, but he had all of that going on. He had a lot of devalue in his awareness with the audience. And a lot of people, you know, for the most part, only have been reintroduced to Page. Now, on a physicality level, he just went the distance with the possibly greatest wrestler in the world.
Now, I will say that, now for positive...
That reintroduces him to a larger audience, in my opinion. And when he came out, and that crowd was chanting cowboy shit, that was just as good as the crowd singing Judas for Jericho.
No, I agree. They didn't know if anybody was going to care about him when he came back.
Yeah.
I agree. And I will give, you know, there are positives in the match. The fact that you didn't see the Dark Order at all.
Yeah.
That was great.
They didn't come out and get their vengeance on Daniel. They didn't have any interference. Daniel also didn't have to be the fighting heel and beat them up. I thought this was...
Maybe I'll go back and watch the match uninterrupted.
Yeah. Watch. Like I said, I think storyline elements that you saw was affected by the commercials because the commercials and the breaks and the manner they took them with the announcer making sure to make the mistake of, you know, there's time left in the match, you know, and them on the commentary team. Oh, you know, what is he going to do? He's only got 30 seconds left.
Yeah.
That take that out.
Right.
Which I know is difficult to take the commentary team out because there's 3, 8, 12, 47 of them. Mm-hmm. But look at that match for what it does for Hangman Page.
Okay. I mean, no.
And what it doesn't take away from Danielson.
No, I agree. And we tried to book it last week, and we couldn't.
We couldn't. I said, I don't know who's going to win this. I said, I don't think they're going to take it off Page this soon, but I wouldn't hate if they gave it to Danielson.
Neither one of us came up with 60-minute draw. That was not on the bingo card I looked at.
Yeah.
That was not the choice I picked. I would have, Vegas odds would have.
I think I called Adam Cole coming down or somebody kicking him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You said the next person in line was going to interfere.
Yeah, I said something like that. Yeah. Impact Wrestling. Matt Cardona doesn't have a chance, so he knocks out his wife.
So here,
that's the only thing I want to say about this.
So
I think we should.
No. Okay. So do you know what the setup is here?
I saw the clip.
So Matt Cardona is wrestling Cass, and Moose, and Cardona, and Cass promo was great.
Yeah,
he signed. He goes, I'm not here for this. Done. See you in the ring. Left. Yeah. He's like, I don't have time for this bullshit. I know how these work. Someone's going to go through a table. It's not going to be me.
Is it just him, or is he, like, Edge on, like, with a balloon inflation?
A little bit.
Yeah, he's a little Edge. Also, I forgot, jumping back to Monday Night Raw, they did exactly what I feared they were going to do, which is completely slam the brakes on Edge and Miz because they got in trouble for their comments, and now they're just in a program.
Yeah. And then so Moose is like, Chelsea, I'm going to hurt him. I'm going to hurt him. Tell him to stop. Chelsea, this is your man. I'm going to hurt him. It's kind of like, and it was like, oh. And then, he was going to get kicked, and Cardona accidentally knocked out his wife instead. The only other good part of Impact is apparently it's going to be Purrazzo and Mickie James in a hardcore Texas match. Texas death match, because it's in Texas, so we gotta have it called a death match.
I mean, hopefully they don't have somebody with a golden railroad spike on the show.
And because Purrazzo wants to become the next belt collector.
Give it to her. Give it to her. Give it to Serena Deeb.
Yes, and New Year's Day, that's going to be the match. That's going to be the Thunder Rosa versus that's the Thunder Rosa. Soho? No, Thunder Rosa versus Jade match. That determines which one of us wins the bracket.
Well, I thought it was already Thunder Rosa versus Ruby Soho.
No, it's Thunder Rosa or Jade versus Ruby Soho's already gone through.
Okay. I was off. I was off.
No, sorry. Ruby Soho's... No, I'm sorry. I take that back. The two matches left are Jade versus Thunder. I have Thunder. I have Jade. You have Thunder.
Yeah.
And the other match, which doesn't matter as much because it's either you win or don't win. It's either I win or I don't win with the first match. The second one is Nia Jax versus Nia
Jax?
Nia Rose.
When did she get hired?
Nyla Rose versus Ruby Soho.
I was like, does anyone know where we're at? I've lost it.
This is where we're at.
We're at the final thoughts, the final show of the year. You know what? Nobody cares about all this. Let's talk about us. How do you think we did this year? Did we do good this year?
That's what our thoughts are going to be.
I thought about this for a second. Okay?
So our final thoughts is, how did we do?
How did we do? You guys can rate us. How did we do? Did we provide you entertainment? Did we give you good content? Did we try and explain things in a manner in which you guys could follow along with? For people who are wrestling fans and people who are non-watching wrestling fans, people who watch some of the shows, who don't watch some of the shows, did we keep you informed of what was happening in the year of 2021, in the year of the pandemic, in the year of the Dragon,
in the year of the Thunderdome,
in the year of the Thunderdome, in the year of just dead people and fire and companies merging with other companies temporarily to form an alliance to screw the guy in charge who decided that he was so angry he was going to take it out on 90% of his staff and fire them and hire a crazy person to run his business into the ground and possibly die. And the only thing he cares about is he got a prop egg from The Rock.
And he's mentoring. Is he mentoring Austin Theory?
Oh, I'm not even going to talk about that. I'm not even. Once again, Vince McMahon he can't talk anymore. He just mumbled. I couldn't understand him at all.
So with did we do a good job? Which version and format did you like?
Yeah,
we changed the format 4 times this year.
7 different times. Did you like the match breakdown? My wife said that she liked it better when I took notes. And I was like, yeah, but I found that when I took notes, I just kind of...
You had to do it a 4-hour show.
We had 4-hour shows, and I ran over top of Joey, and it did kind of seem almost like the WWE, as I just had scripted shit to say. But I don't know, maybe you said I could take a little notes, and maybe it'll help me with the little things where I don't get as antsy about things if I can get a better breakdown. I don't know. We're just going to say... Do
you like a storyline breakdown, or do you like a match breakdown?
Do you like a match breakdown, or do you like a good overview for that? Is there things covering that we're not talking about that we should be talking about? I know we missed out on a lot of New Japan this year, but we're going to fix that in the coming year. I know we missed out on some of the Ring of Honor stuff. Don't worry, they're gone, and everybody who we care about is about to be in the other company. What other... Some of we covered independent programs. We talked about Gold Coast. We did 2 of their shows this year, I believe, or at least 1 last year and 1 this year. We hope to do some more stuff with them in the future with our good friend Ian. I think that overall, as a show, despite the fact that as a wrestling show, shows about people who talk about wrestling is somewhat diluted on the online community because there's a lot of people, including some of our friends who host, Mr. Brian Resner and other people. But there's a lot of content out there. You guys, how do you feel choosing us? I think we do okay. For our group page, we have over 120 members. I've looked at some other pages that have more views of content and have less people actually involved with them. Most of our stuff gets seen, at least by, a good majority of the people who are on our page, so at least we're getting support from there. I think overall we have done a good job in growing the show in 2021 from taking it from a fledgling idea into a more cohesive show. We have a nice mic, we have good lights, we have dual setups, we have this guy drawn by one of our very dear friends, Mr. Tony.
We got a better webcam.
We got a better webcam. I think overall we have improved the show in the year and 6 months that we've been on the air. No, it hasn't been 6 months. We started in October. Oh God, I forgot how the seasons work. Yeah.
You forgot how to math.
That's okay.
Can I talk now? Because you told me to shut up twice.
I did not tell you to shut up twice. I said wait, because you're trying to hack my legs out right now.
No.
What do you think? Go. What's your final thought? Speak.
Oh.
There we go.
I believe that any of the improvements we've made have been improvements, and we haven't 2.0'd this. I would love to make this better and bigger. I would love to get a guest in here once in a while that could talk with us. This year we did have my daughter for one show. We did have Kevin once. We did get my daughter in here, who is forever in our minds has made Rhea Ripley Queen Barb.
Yeah, absolutely. She has definitely cemented that legacy.
Because having an outsiders thing, I don't know. This is literally coming from my basement.
Yeah.
And if you could see on the other side of this camera, you wouldn't want to.
You'd know it's a basement. You would know it's a basement.
We've
tried a very nice basement, and more importantly, it's heated down here.
I did, change the set design around a little bit. I think that maybe next year we'll be a little higher, so we're not looking like we're shrinking. I'm going to try to adjust the colors on the screen. I put a lot of work in this. We put a lot of work into this. We want it to be successful. So hopefully, next year we'll grow our audience, and maybe we'll have 3 or 4 people watching us at a time. If there's a better time we should be playing, I'd love to know what that time is. That's all I got.
I ain't got no time, man.
Ain't nobody got no time.
Ain't nobody got time for this show, man.
I don't know. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed working with you. This was something, we've said it 18 times tonight. We came up with this idea while we worked together at the comic book store. Maybe people would enjoy listening to us talk.
Yeah.
Some people do. My New Year's resolution is to get everything uploaded to YouTube. I've got like 12 shows to do.
What was the phrase from Spider-Man? If you expect failure, when it happens, you won't be so disappointed.
Right? That's the only spoiler you're getting from Spider-Man.
Overall, from everyone here at Powerbomb Weekly, on behalf of Joseph Marcello, I am Michael Burdett. Have a wonderful Christmas. Have a happy New Year. And we will see you in 2022, the year of... the year of Boa the Zombie Dragon Enchanted Non-Lady.
Okay. Prediction.
Okay, prediction.
I thought of this. We got a few more minutes. So I'm going to ask you a question, make a prediction. Will 2.0 make it, or will they restructure it again in 2022?
Restructure.
I agree. If they want 2.0 to be on the air in 2022, it has to be restructured.
Absolutely.
That's the thing that needs the most improvement in my life.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, the thing that needs the most improvement in 2022 is 2.0 needs to
go away
and become something better.
Yep. What else?
That's it.
That's it. Oh, you said predictions. That's a pluralization.
All right. So who's gonna? Okay, fine. Predictions. Who's gonna unmask Roman Reigns?
Unmask him?
I mean, who's going to unseat him as the champion?
No one. No, unless Brock does it at day one. No.
Brock will do it at day one.
I hope not. You know what I hope? I hope at day one, Roman wins, and someone comes out and just smash fucks Roman. Somebody we've never seen. Somebody
like Gabe Stevenson?
like maybe Gabe Stevenson. Maybe. I don't know if he's there yet. They say he's doing good, but I mean, the only thing that can dethrone Roman Reigns is the unknown.
Okay. Prediction. Will Ciampa still be in NXT in December of 2022?
Yeah. His contract's re-signed too. He re-signed it a while back.
Okay. Prediction. Where will Gargano go? You can say nowhere.
I think he'll go back to WWE. I think he'll be the one because they have the Florida base. NXT's there. If he wants to go back to NXT, he can. I don't think he'll go to Japan. I don't think he'll go to... I mean, he could go to AEW, but I think overall, I think his passion's with the WWE.
I think so too.
Yeah.
You have any questions? Will you have any things you want me to try to predict?
Prediction. Man, I don't know. You fired off a lot. I mean, granted, that was a lot of WWE. Prediction. What happens to Ring of Honor?
Ooh. I think I'm going to predict, and this is a wild one, I'm going to predict that Billy Corgan rolls it into NWA.
Second follow-up prediction. Will we get a third show on television that people talk about?
Oh, God, I hope so.
Will NWA get...
MLW.
Will MLW get it?
MLW will get one.
Or possibly this rumored new promotion?
I don't know anything about a new... I think between NWA and MLW, either that or we'll bring New Japan back online.
I was going to say, prediction, does New Japan make it back?
Yes. I just don't know what channel.
I guess...
They could go to Vice.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess the final prediction that I have for 2022, I will split this one.
Okay.
Does Vince McMahon and co. make it one more year? Does Vince as a human being continue to roam the earth? Or does the company itself continue to remain in the hands of the McMahon family?
Wow. Yes, Vince McMahon will survive 2022, and so will his company.
I believe the company will. I don't know if the old man will. And followed by my last...
I think actually Vince died 2 years ago and no one bothered to tell him.
Nobody told him yet.
Nobody bothered to tell him.
I guess my final prediction of the year is... will AEW consistently beat at least Raw in the ratings?
They're
not demographic, but will they overtake Raw's ratings?
Yes, they will overtake Raw's ratings in the year.
Do you think they will overtake SmackDown?
No.
Is that simply because it's on Fox?
Yes. Yep.
I agree with both of those.
I think that Raw, I think that NXT, I mean, I think Raw's numbers will continue to decline, and I think that AEW's will continue to climb, because even Cornette's kind of gotten on the train. If the Bucks didn't buck, it would be solid.
Agreed.
All right, so everybody, he already signed us off once. We're gonna sign us off again.
Yeah, sign us off again.
Hey, for Kevin, who's not here, the voice of Powerbomb Weekly, Kevin Chambers. We are Mike and Joey and Powerbomb Pete. Talk to you later.
His name is L Bombzilla, and L Bombzilla is urging each and every one of you out there, unless you want to end up like the nuclear weapon that he is about to drive into the ground, please go out, and you still have time to get your gift cards to Kitsap Great Escape, located in Silverdale, the only escape room in 30 miles, in entire of...
At least 45 miles.
And at least 45 miles in the entirety of where are we at?
Kitsap County.
The only escape room inside of Kitsap County that you can go to. You can still get gift cards to purchase for you and your family, where you can come check out a wonderful local business operated by this individual right here and co. Also,
we are open for holiday hours.
They're open for holiday hours, and man, yeah,
Love you, Mike.
Love you too, Joseph. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, and have a happy New Year.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
God.